smile on our face. We work hard, we play harder, we push it to the limit, going farther and farther. We work hard, we play harder, we push it to the limit, going farther and farther. Grind all day, we dance all night. We're body freaks of nature, we're body freaks, body freaks. Grind all day, we dance all night. We're body freaks of nature. started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another day of Nemesis League action. Things are getting real serious here, and in the booth, we're gonna have some fun. What's going on? Is Charles? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right, merely just excited for some play-in Rocket League. It's going to be a fun one for sure.
Yeah, I definitely think so. And before we even get started talking about the match ahead of us, actually, we'll get a very short preview at all the matches that we have going into tonight. Obviously, starting off with Orbit versus Drakes. Hope you guys like this graphic. Shout out to Sylveon for making it himself. Some good
Beautiful.
stuff here. We are now into the play-in, so every match from here on out is an elimination match. You can see Orbit going up against the Drakes. Very even odds in this one. Bananas Inferno a little bit more heavy towards the Bananas, which should be an interesting matchup as well. Rook's Velocity, another kind of even sort. Whiteout Vortex, a little bit heavier in Whiteout's favor, but some decent odds there from Vortex. And then our most heavily weighed match of the night, actually, one that I wasn't expecting personally to be this one-sided in predictions, but I can understand why. And that one is Ignite versus Acceleration. 82% of people having
Oof.
Ignite taking down Acceleration there.
Wow.
And with how hot Ignite has looked, it's hard to disagree. But any thoughts on the set of matches we have in front of us, Charles, before we move on into this one?
I think each one of them, it's definitely going to be I think personally it's going to be a lot of game fives, a lot of exciting games ahead of us. And I played the last game with Ignite and the boys, and just hoping we can prove everybody right, with their predictions and not drop this one. I'm really excited to, get into some play in action tonight with you, merely, and it's going to be a fun one.
I'm hoping for some game fives myself. It would be hard to top how many game fives we had on Monday, 4 in a row. Nemesis record, maybe a record in other books as well, but absolutely banger of matchups. Hopefully we'll get some more good ones. But with that all covered, we are going to be heading into Orbit versus the Drakes. You already saw the match odds there. Now it's time to get into a little bit of our thoughts on maybe this one is why this one is weighted the way it was. What can you tell us about these two teams here, Charles?
All right, so on the Drake side of the pitch, they have apparently Rai, Zuleta, Geo, and Daydreams. I actually am a huge fan of Geo. He's an amazing player, and I think he's going to put the Drakes on top with this one. But what I appreciate about these two teams, and I'll get to Orbit in a moment, I appreciate how they're so close to each other. They're both 8-10 teams. And in the playoffs last year, they met off in the semifinals, and it went to a game 7. So these two teams are very evenly matched. And on the Orbit side of the pitch, you have DJD, Diformia, Reed, and Sky's Rocket League. And I'm a huge fan of DJD. I mean, I actually watched a scrimmage with Orbit and DJD, and he is a big demo heavy guy. I love my demos, and he's definitely gonna give me a little treat there. So it's gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, this should be a good one. Like you said, last time these two teams met was in the semifinals last season. Orbit moving on to the grand finals in that matchup, where they did eventually lose to the dominant Venom. But with that said, even more even, both of these teams actually coming off of a win in their last game of the season, last series of the season. Their Orbit actually taking down Ascension, the number 1 seed in my own team. And they managed to get a sweep on Ascension, which is no small feat. To tout myself a little bit, the numbers do back it up. Number 1 seed. For the most part, Ascension, or excuse me, I'm still on that train of thought about myself. For the most part, Challenger has been I wouldn't necessarily say dominated, but the top teams have been very clear cut. And Orbit, with that win, kind of bringing themselves into the conversation of teams that are potentially at the top of the league. So a really big win for them. And on the other side of things, Drake's had an unconventional win against Motion on Saturday Night Rocket League, end off the season in a fantastic series, actually. But for that one, they did bring in the C Money super sub. So C Money showed up, and I gotta say, C Money in the past hasn't found too much success on his prospect teams. However, in that series, C Money was playing exceptionally well, and I don't really think Motion or the Drakes could have taken down Motion without that little buff there. So we'll see if they can kind of recuperate their full roster here. But with that said, Charles, I got to bring it to you before we get this one underway. Who do you think is going to take this, and who do you think going home?
Oof, it's a tough one for sure, And I think you're going to bring channel points into this one. I think if you want to get your channel points tonight, I think you're going to have to go with Drake's. I think they're going to put it away 3-1.
All right, the Drake's prediction. Well, we'll have to see it already off the bat. Daydream's making you look like a genius with a little bit of an air dribble underneath Diformia there. And a brilliant play to start us off.
I mean, just beautiful work off the kickoff. You're not going to see anything better than that. I mean, just beautiful play. You saw the patience there. I mean, he just puts that right past the defenders with that beautiful air control.
That's the start that the Drakes were hoping for. Taking down this Orbit roster won't be an easy task. Every goal counts now, keeping them out. Geo trying to add to that total, bring this one to the center. Can't quite find it there. The follow-up is good from Daydreams. A light shot, and the shot wasn't very threatening, but it did send the defense of Orbit in disarray, and the follow-up shot from Geo. Shot after shot being sent onto the net of Orbit early on in this game. And with all the pressure, they might be in a position where they're about to concede again. Geo will be the one to take the next shot, and already out the gate. Drake's looking hot.
Yeah, I think the Drake's offense is definitely sending some shockwaves over to the Orbit defense. You can tell they're kind of a little bit flustered on the defensive side. And honestly, if the Drakes keep playing like this, it's looking very dominant for them. I think the Orbit definitely is going to have to adjust here if they're going to want to take at least this game.
So far, not even a minute through, and already 4 shots for Orbit. Or, sorry, 4 shots for Drakes, I should say. Orbit just got their first one of the game. They haven't really had any real offensive pressure so far, so we haven't been able to see what they look like on the other side of the pitch. And the defense has definitely been shaky, as another one coming through, a confident challenge by Daydreams. That one will sneak through for a 3rd goal for the Drakes.
I mean, 5 shots, 3 goals, just very accurate shooting, and they're putting the ball on the net, and that is going to be a winning formula for Drakes if they can continue this into the latter half of this game 1.
Consistency will definitely be key for them as a nice way to get back from Geo, but the shot from Diformia will be good. Diformia turning this into a 2-goal game, and now we do have a series on our hands.
Yeah, I mean, just another great kickoff, and he's just going to put that on the backboard. Just beautiful shot, beating both defenders, and, Orbit's seeing a little bit of life here.
Only the first minute, 20 seconds gone by. Definitely not time to throw in the towel just yet. Got plenty of life left in their roster, and a nice little kickoff goal will definitely give them some momentum back into this game. They just have to try and build onto that, as Diformia looking for a double touch, and Reed with the follow-up. All of a sudden, that 3-goal lead seems so far away.
I mean, Diformia is all over the pitch right now. I mean, beautiful pass, just puts it off the wall. Such a soft touch, and he came at it so hard. Just really great stuff by Diformia. You could tell he's definitely looking to maybe steal this game 1 away from the Drakes.
The 1-goal lead is not quite as comforting as a 2 or even 3-goal lead. Drakes, now that they have conceded a few, are going to keep conceding, actually. Diformia coming for another one, and we are already seeing a complete turnaround here in game one.
And there is DJD with the demos and the bumps. Just beautiful work, really scaring that defense. There's 2 people in net stationary, and that shot really, really going to put the defense away on that one. And it is now tied with 3 minutes left in this game.
It seems the theme of game one is whoever can get the ball in the opponent's half seems to be able to score and take the advantage, as apparently Rai had an opportunity there. That one not going to go through, but Gio will get the pass out, and Daydreams finding the hat trick in this first game, and this one just keeps going back and forth.
It's exactly like you just mentioned, Merely. It's whoever can get into the opponent's end is looking like they're gonna score. I mean, Orbit has 7 shots. Drakes have 6 shots. I mean, just a shootout, and we're not even halfway through this game.
I am very curious to see how many goals we're going to see in the second half of this game. So the first half has just been a complete roller coaster. Usually once this momentum starts, the scoring doesn't really stop. As Rai getting this one centered, looking to add to an even higher total. Like I said, in a game like this, you might not even feel safe with another 3-goal lead when it can disappear that quickly. The Drakes will be trying to regain it, as that one actually just going to float in. I'm not sure if that was a fake or just a miss by the defender, but either way, Drakes up 2 once again.
I mean, it was just a boomed ball. I think it was just an unfortunate 50 that got that one, and I think it was just another unfortunate miss by Reed. You know, the Drakes are looking really good right now. They were looking good in the early half of this game, and now they're looking to maybe continue to look good as we continue through this game one.
Team's offense right now, I mean, looks superb. Orbit, when they have had their chances, has been able to capitalize. It just seems like they haven't really gotten too many of those chances. As I say that, Deformia coming through with the flip reset. Apparently Rai barely getting there in time. He will send that one away. A crucial save to finally alleviate the bleeding that Orbit's roster was able to cause for a few short minutes. Another shot on net, but saves on either end of the pitch now, and a little bit slower of a game so far as the defenses are consolidating, but this only favors the Drakes, and I'm really curious. You know, we've seen both of these teams score a very rapid succession of goals. I mean, is there even still an advantage in this for Drakes? Because it feels like the game is still evenly matched, to be honest.
I mean, as a shot goes in from Reed, beautiful shot, just putting it past 2 defenders on that one. What a pass by DJD, just really quick, and Reed's going to put that in.
And I'm going to pose the question once again, because I feel like that really proved my point very well. I mean, the Drakes, you know, when they're on offense, it looks like they can hit every shot into the back of the net. And that was a good shot there from Orbit, but I feel like the Drakes defense just was taking a nap there. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely seeing a little bit of it. I think both offenses actually are looking really impressive. I just need to see more on the defensive side if a team's going to really pull it out on this one, but I don't think that's going to happen, as we now have 40 seconds left in this game.
I will say that was a great avoidance there from Daydreams, actually. Didn't get bumped and also jumped early enough to save the oncoming shot. This one will be sent wide once again. Only 30 seconds left now. Orbit needs to re-find that magic from earlier on, but they're only re-finding the defensive antics that got them in this mess in the first place. DJD trying to make contact, but can't. Reed sending it forward, and that will be another open net for the Drakes. Surely they will put that one in. And Gio is a sandbagger, getting his second goal of the game. Surely this one is solidly in the Drakes' favor, right?
You would think so, but, you know, as we've seen throughout this game, I mean, 10 goals scored in the first game. That is ridiculous. Both these teams coming out hot, and they're firing goals at each other. And one thing I've noticed is the third man for each team has definitely had to put in a little more work, as I think a little bit of struggling here, as apparently Rai is just going to put that over the Orbit defenders.
Well, if it maybe wasn't secured before, that one certainly should seal the deal. Apparently, Rai getting his second of the game. They're sharing the goals scored, 3 for Day 2 for Geo and apparently Rai each. And on the other side of the pitch, no slouch in point total so far. But I could ask this question for both teams, but since they are the ones who conceded the first game, I'll ask it Orbit, and that is, what exactly do you think is going wrong? How do they fix this and stop the bleeding before it gets too bad?
I think the name of the game here is defensive rotations. I feel like they're clumping up a little too much in front of their net. I think Drakes are definitely finding a way to get in the back of the net, and they're doing that by using those quick passes. They're getting on and off the ball really quickly, putting it off the backboard. I mean, you saw a couple of bumps going out. I just think if Orbit wants to win this, they got to play a more defensively sound game than they are at this very moment.
It would appear that way, as they let in 7 goals and they still got 5 saves. I think that's the craziest part to me. Even with 7 goals, they managed to get 5 saves. So when their defense was in net, I mean, they weren't doing a half bad job of saving the ball. It was just that they left themselves in so many positions where they either couldn't get to the save or there was no one back to get the save. But I will say the Drakes, looking a little bit suspect on defense as well. What other kind of aspects do the Drakes here need to solidify in order to try and gain an even further advantage, or do they just have this in the bag? Do they just need to keep playing their style that they've been playing?
I mean, Drakes have looked great offensively. I mean, that is very apparent as we go into this game number 2, but I definitely think I need to see them. I don't see enough dominance in the midfield. I'm seeing balls just being boomed back and forth. I think Drakes just need to control that midfield, and if they can manage to do that, if they can manage to keep the ball on their half for even the majority of the game, I think they definitely have this one in the bag.
Hard to agree on that point, as a double commit from Orbit, leaving a lot of open space. And I feel like Challenger is kind of the point where midfield control becomes at least slightly important. You can't, in the Novice League and Prospect League, you could pretty much just hit the ball down the field and it'll probably make its way all the way there. But in the Challenger League, if you can manage to get those cutoffs, manage to create a barrier for the opposition as they're trying to move down the field and regain control, you're going to be in so much better of a spot. As Drake's coming out with another shot. A nice save there from Diformia. Intercepting once again, actually. He's still going on this ball. Can't quite make it all the way downfield, but he does get a clutch boost grab, and will opt not to go for this ball, leaving it for his teammate. But Orbit's still looking much more controlled in the first minute of this game. Definitely than the last game, where they conceded 3 goals in 1 minute. Maybe some stream nerves there. You never know how someone's gonna be affected by having to play on stream. And also, I mean, we haven't talked about too much, playing with your tournament life on the line, as I think that was an open net. But these players, the circumstances are not necessarily the same as regular season. We always say, Charles, anything can happen in the postseason.
And it's definitely happening as DJ Deed. What a missile. And that's going to be a first goal for Orbit.
And that's a beautiful read. Got up just way faster than the defense of the Drakes there, finding the first goal and their first lead of the series, actually. Some good signs for Orbit. Able to stave off the Drake's pressure so far, but that's a good shot from Geo. Fakes the aerial and takes a shot instead. A brilliant play off the kickoff.
I mean, that's a low boost masterpiece here. He fakes it, and then that is a beautiful shot. Top bins, and that phase goal explosion is never looking better, my friend, and that is going to be a tied game. And I honestly, I have to ask you, Merely, do you think this game is going to be tied for much longer?
If this was game 1, I would say absolutely not. There's going to be 17 more goals before I finish talking. But seeing as this is game 2, I think even though this ball looks very dangerous, yeah, there's Diformity with the save. I have a feeling that this one is actually going to go on for a while, and I think the next goal is going to decide it. I could be completely wrong, but this feels like one of those games where every single goal is of the utmost importance, and it may be the deciding factor. But that is yet to be seen. My prediction could be correct, or it could be completely false. This one almost lobbed into the goal by Diformia. A nice redirect there. Now the Drake's pushing downfield, trying to make something happen with low boost in the corner. Diformia will be the one to end up with possession, passing across to Reed, who can't quite beat out the defense. Almost another passing play, but the midfield presence is more felt in this game so far. Players seem to be slightly faster as Diformia going for a double touch, blocked away by apparently Rai. Another difference from game one is just so many of these attacks now are being shut down. It seems like the reads are improving from both teams, and because of that, pace of play is faster, and also the speed at which these shots get shut down is picking up as well.
Yeah, I think the pace is definitely getting faster, but I honestly think it's only getting faster from the Orbit side of the ball. I think the Drakes are actually slowing down a little bit. You know, you see they're trying to like get too fancy with it. They're trying to pass to each other in the midfield too often. I think if they just play that game one game that they played as Daydreams, gonna put it in the back of the net.
And I do agree, they've been playing slower, but you know, I feel sorry for Reed because I don't know how you defend a shot where two people look like they're going to hit the ball and you have no idea what direction it's going to go. Left in a tough spot there as last man. The Drakes will be the ones to score next. And that could be a critical goal for them. It does seem like they've struggled a little bit to keep up with the Orbit speed of play. However, when they've needed to get back and when they've needed to jump for blocks, they've been all over Orbit in their own half, it seems. They haven't really conceded off of any critical mistakes other than the one beat from DJD where he was just simply faster than the defense. Since then, completely locked down as Diformia trying to break that streak, getting it to the corner. Apparently, Rai will get an air dribble out of this one into the pre-flip. Thought about the flip reset, it seems, but Fade and Geo a little bit. Still a huge demo. That one could come through. Solid 50 by Reed, and now we're back into this battle of the midfield. That one sent on target. It's not quite in, but Diformia doesn't get the best touch. DJD will have to rush back, and oh my goodness, that was a close one there.
Yeah, just a really great play by the Drakes right now. I'm really seeing them attack. I mean, it's just constant pressure as we see the ball just floating in the Orbit end. I mean, it's just nonstop from them. This is exactly what we needed to see from this Drakes team. And I mean, listen, if they keep this up, I mean, game two could be theirs.
It very well could be, but with 15 seconds on the clock, Orbit has to try to get something going now. They will find a shot, but Daydreams parked in the perfect spot on the net. Whether fortunately or skillfully, he will be able to deflect that one. Now 3 seconds left. Nothing left to do for Orbit, but try to get one last shot. Diformia with the pre-flip gets it high over the net. DJD could be able to secure this one. He tosses it to Reed, but it will be sent back. I think that is Orbit's attack. Actually, apparently, Rai keeping this one up. He could have just hit it to the ground. He hopefully won't live to regret that one, but he will not as the ball touches the ground. And hey, what did I say? The next goal was going to decide it. And the Drakes, they won the shootout, and now they won the stalemate, just barely.
Yeah, my prediction's looking pretty good right now. I really like how the Drakes are playing. You know, they're playing. They struggled a little bit in the middle part of that game, but that second goal really just pushed them through. And exactly as you said, Merely, the next goal is going to win game two. And look at the score line; it is 2-1 with Drakes on top. And you know, kudos to you, Merely. Beautiful prediction, and I'm just excited to see what this game three has in store for us.
Yeah, we'll add out the other 100 times I've made a prediction. It's been wildly inaccurate, but I'll let myself look like a genius this one time. Either way, the Drakes now up 2-0, and Orbit is one loss away from getting swept out of the play-in tournament and out of the season in general. If they lose here, that is their season on the line. And I mean, to go from sweeping Ascension to now being down 0-2, they had to feel confident. I mean, if I were them, I would feel pretty confident going into this matchup. But now you're down 0-2, that confidence has completely disappeared. You have to try to regain the mental edge. But it seemed like they did try to adapt, but it didn't really work here, Charles. So, I mean, what can they even do further? Do they just have to try to keep playing at this game? Because it did seem like it was working at certain points.
Yeah, I think they just need to... They played a great game in the beginning of the match, and I think they even played a great game in the middle. It just kind of fell apart towards the end. I don't know. I was seeing a lot of shots just being sent into their corner, into their side of the pitch, and I just need to see, like, it's all about midfield battles in this game. I'm seeing a lot of them, actually, and, you know, I just need to see more clears and going down and maybe winning some midfield battles. It's just a tough one for Orbit because I can't really see any flaws with this Drake's team other than they're just struggling on defense when the Orbit kind of gets in their zone. But you know, if Orbit can pull this game out, I mean, it's anybody's game at this point.
It does seem like when the Drakes are locked in defense, they are much more prone to making these errors over time. There were a couple points where they almost came out. Daydreams with a nice save there. But it's been difficult for Orbit to really find that groove on the offensive side of things. They've managed to get shots, but not necessarily consistently back to back. So if they can manage to do that. On the other side of things, it almost seems like the Drakes have switched up their strategy, as I've already seen a few demos coming out here in the early stages of game number 3. But Orbit will be the ones on the attack. A big flick over. I don't know if Rai can get there. He narrowly avoided own goaling. That one was very close for Orbit. They're sent back into their half once again. Diformia pulling out the mechanics. Game flip past one. DJD might have a shot. Not quite able to put it on target or break through the defense. The ball is still in a dangerous position, and Gio with a perfect read. Very nicely done to keep the ball out of danger once again. Still, the Drakes, they've been under more pressure in game 2 than game 1, and now it seems like they're under more pressure in game 3 than game 2. Orbit really just keeps upping this pressure, but still, nothing is really resulting from it. Oh, never mind.
Wow, beautiful goal by Reed. What an angle, too. I mean, just beautiful angle, beautiful pass by Deformia, just really willing his team to this, to try to at least take this game number 3. I've been seeing him just all over the pitch, and really, I gotta ask for your prediction again. What do you think is gonna happen in the end of game number 3?
You know, I would be really surprised with how the series has gone if we didn't at least see the Drakes come back and tie it up in this one. But I feel like there's probably Drakes coming back and tying it up, and then Orbit. I think Orbit can win this game, however. I think they have it in them. I think they've solidified their strategy. They've gotten rid of all the nerves now from being on stream. And I think that they can bring it to this Drakes roster, but it will take a little bit of technique, as here they come with another shot. That one can't be saved, and Diformia will put another one home.
I think the stream nerves are settling. I think Orbit went from being really nervous to being in attack mode now, as they're just attacking the Drakes, and that just beautiful shot by Diformia, almost being saved out by one of the Drakes defenders. But, you know, I'm seeing a lot of good things from this Orbit team, and let's see if the Drakes can respond to this brand new Orbit team that we're seeing here in game number 3.
They look even faster now, even more coordinated on the pass play, but the shot is just high. DJD couldn't find the finish. That one certainly would have been a useful tool to have, securing an even further lead, but another quick challenge. And the Drakes' lack of speed is becoming apparent as more shots are being fired off onto their net. They're getting completely dusted to most of these balls now in the midfield and even in their defensive half. But still only 2 goals up, especially with game 1 settling in the back of their mind. They can't be feeling too comfortable at this point. Drakes, 1 more, and then you're only 1 goal away from tying the game up. But still, the clock is ticking. DJD trying to get yet another one for Orbit. But Rai will be the one to take it back. Good challenge in the midfield. And a good follow-up challenge from Diformia there, making sure the Drakes just remain completely shut down. That's what it's really been so far in this game number 3 here. I mean, Orbit really just hasn't let the Drakes have any of the same kind of chances that they let them have in games 1 and 2.
I mean, they've been constantly just in the air, flying at balls, as we almost see one here, and it's just a missed ball by everybody. But as I was saying, just the Orbits have just been on attack mode. They've been constantly getting to the Drake's net, and I think this is kind of reminiscent of their game 1 that they had in the beginning and maybe the middle stages of game 1. And I mean, if I was on the Drakes, I'd be very nervous right now. I wouldn't be nervous for this game as much as I'd be nervous for how the rest of the series will turn out if Orbit's going to keep playing like this.
They have played very well so far. Diformia adding another one to the books, his 2nd goal of the game. And now this one does look like it's out of reach for the Drakes, who might have been getting a little bit comfortable with their 2-game lead, but now it doesn't look so certain that they will take this series.
Orbit has been on fire. Diformia, let me just say, insane game. 7 shots by himself. That is a ridiculous stat. I mean, he only has 2 goals, but I mean, to put that many shots on an opponent's net, you have to just keep on firing them, and he is doing exactly that. And I think that's exactly what you need to see from this Orbit team right about now.
And Orbit has found life when they needed it most. Down 2-0, but not by any means out of it. Even though they got 7 goals scored on them in the first game, they still scored 4, and every game has really looked quite competitive. Orbit no slouches themselves. As this clock ticks down, we will be heading to a confirmed game number 4 now. And you have to think, I mean, if Drakes can't close it out in game 4 here, I really don't see them winning a game 5. I'll be completely honest.
Yeah, and I think that's a very valid prediction here. I mean, Orbit, just a totally different team. I was kind of surprised. I was watching. I'm like, is that Orbit? And they're definitely looking like the Orbit versus Ascension team that we saw last week. You know, their sweep against Ascension. Sorry, merely. But you know, they're looking really good, and I'm really impressed with Diformia's play as well as Reed's play. Reed has been kind of you know, a little timid, you know, he's been taking a step back, you know, playing that third man role, but he's been playing like some solid defense, especially by himself. I mean, just beautiful play by everybody on this Orbit roster. And, you know, one thing I do want to see, and this is just purely for my enjoyment, I need to see more DJD demos. I love his demo game. He gets into the back of the Drake zone and he's just constantly bumping them. But he's a big bruiser, and I would like to see, for my personal enjoyment, more of that.
If they can figure out the DJD demo strat to open up some more space, that might just be over. It really feels like right now this is kind of the Diformia show, with DJD and Reed kind of supporting the backfield and trying to prevent counterattacks, and Diformia just doing whatever he wants, and it working out. I mean, that's not even shade to him. It's just, it seems like he's been going for a lot of crazy things, and the ball just gets to good positions, and then his teammates are there to clean up, or Diformia just finishes himself. Doesn't matter, whichever one works. And I feel like if the Drakes can't manage to shut down, oh my goodness, almost got a wild pinch there. But if the Drakes can't manage to shut down Diformia first and foremost, I mean, they are going to have a real rough time in the last game or 2 of the series.
I fully agree. I mean, just I for the Drake's perspective, I mean, I'm really scared of this Orbit team. Even watching them, I'm getting a little nervous for Drakes, you know. But I need the Drakes just need to keep playing fast. Oh my goodness, what a shot! And that's not going to go in. Oh my goodness, just exactly what I just saw there is exactly what I need to see more in this game by the Drakes. Just keep putting shots on the net. Keep applying that pressure to Orbit that we saw in game 1, especially game 1. And, you know, if they do just that, I mean, they might not take game number 4, but they'll at least have a great chance to take game number 5, as apparently Rye is going to put that left corner. Beautiful shot.
And there it is. The Drakes, after being held scoreless in game number 3, immediately able to bounce back a minute off the clock. And they got slightly robbed of the redirect earlier on. That one, Rocket League said, not yet, but just wait 30 seconds, then you'll get another goal. And now the Drakes almost in position to take another one, but it's not quite yet panic time for Orbit. Plenty of time left in this one. They can't let the Drakes get back the same momentum that they had in the first 2 games. Definitely no way they can hold on to another barrage like that, as apparently Rai trying to break through. Won't yet be able to find the back of the net. But more good signs. It really seems like it is becoming reminiscent of, I'd say, game 2 here. And when Orbit has been allowing all this pressure, it hasn't gone good for them, as another one put in. Geo is a sandbagger coming through once again.
I mean, it's looking like game 2, but, you know, I think from the Drake's perspective, I think it's looking a little more like game number 1. They're flying across the pitch. They're looking really fast right now. And Orbit may be a little bit nervous. I mean, they had all this confidence going into game number 4. Do they feel the same confidence that they did before?
It would appear not, as, I mean, they're just getting beat to a lot of balls here that I feel like in past games they would have really been much faster to, and even beating the players on the Drake's team, looking not necessarily even less confident, just it's almost like they forgot what their game plan was. I'm not entirely sure what's happened. The Drakes have decided to lock down, and they've decided to just go on full out offense, which has been working for them. And Orbit has not been able to adjust in time. Now another opportunity. Apparently, Rai trying to send that one center. Won't quite be able to, but possession is back in the hands of the Drakes once again. Geo is the sandbagger. Always flying down the pitch. Definitely become a headache for Orbit to have to deal with that, as another shot almost coming through. And the Drakes keeping up this immense pressure. Only 2 shots on the other side for Orbit. And I mean, where's that 7-shot gameplay that we just saw 1 game ago?
It's definitely not apparent here. I think if Diformit's going to want to get back to that, I think he's just going to need a little more effort put in by Reed and DJD to get him back to that point. But I think just the Orbit team as a whole, just needs to play a little bit quicker. This series has been a lot about pacing, a lot about midfield battles, and I think pacing is just going to come in really important right here. And if they're going to want to at least pull this game number 4 out, I think they're just going to have to play quicker. And the Drakes, if you play quicker against the Drakes, oh no, a shot has gone in, and Geo with his phase goal explosion is looking good once again.
Well, they are going to have to speed it up exponentially if they want to mount the comeback in this one. Another 3-goal deficit. But hey, throwing it back all the way to game number 1, I mean, they came back from a 3-goal deficit in like 20 seconds. I could definitely see it happening, but Orbit's the team that has to find that magic, has to find that flow state. We've seen so many times they are so capable of breaking through this Drake's defense. But right now, they are doing just that. Diformia, at the perfect time, will find one, and maybe the comeback is not so impossible.
Diformia is looking a little bit like DJD is. As I say that, I just saw DJD bumped him out of the way. I mean, Diformia, he's on the bottom of the leaderboard right now, but I think actually by the end of this game, I don't think he's going to be on the bottom of the leaderboard anymore. I think if he really wants this Orbit team to go to a game number 5, I think he's just going to have to step up the pressure, step up the shots, as we almost saw one there. Daydream's beautiful save, but Orbit's looking a little, they're not hot yet, but they have a little bit of embers going around them, and I'm liking what I'm seeing from this Orbit team, but I'm just gonna need to see a little bit more of it. They're gonna want to, get the dub in the last minute of this match.
Well, if there's good news for them, it does seem like Drake's now feeling a little bit nervous, not necessarily as dominant, and DJD is coming out with the demos. He has taken your advice to heart, and he is trying to send everything he has to try and break through this Drake's defense. They just need one more with some time remaining to give themselves a chance. DJD over to Reed. Reed can't make the touch, but it fakes out the defender. He might be able to get a follow-up, but the shot is just wide, and that is precious time off the clock. Diformia trying to send it back around. Can't get it through. It's just barely off the post. And with 20 seconds left, Orbit needs a goal, and they need it right now. DJD sending this one to the middle. Diformia with the shot, but 2 defenders in net. That one will be sent away with ease. Reed trying to send another one. DJD gets 1 bump, tries to get 2, but it won't be enough, and Orbit will be sent back to their half, and they will be sent out of the play-in bracket. They are going home after losing to the Drakes. Unfortunate way to go, as it really looked like they were solidly had a foothold in this series, but at the end of the day, the Drake's pressure was too much, and Orbit will concede.
I mean, I got a little nervous at the end. There's a lot of great chances from Orbit. You saw those misses that were just barely off the net, and if they had maybe those goals back, we would see it go to a game 5. But I just have to give Orbit props. I mean, just great series overall played, especially with the pressure that was put on them. I mean, you have to think they're down by 3 in a win or die situation, but they looked really strong willed, and they definitely put it to the Drakes, to try to take this one. Obviously they didn't, but just really great play by them. And I would just like to point out that my prediction was correct, and I'm very, very excited about it. Hopefully you people at home watching got some channel points from listening to my advice, but if not, just really great series overall.
Well, you know what's craziest actually, and we didn't talk about this at all. I should fire both of us from our jobs. But but Daydreams actually isn't even typically the starting player on the roster of the Drakes. Usually it would be Zuleta, who is a fantastic player of his own right, higher MMR, and typically he's the one starting. But Daydreams, I mean, I knew about this and I was trying to find a good time to bring it up, but at the end of the day, I actually didn't want to say anything because Daydreams 100% belonged in that series. I mean, we saw it from the start of game number 1. He came through and he scored 3, 4, at least 3 goals, maybe even 4, maybe 5. I don't remember the stat line for game 1, but he came out swinging. He brought it to orbit and he was an essential part of this roster with his supporting teammates, and I mean, it wasn't a dominant performance, but it was a very impressive performance.
I mean, as you said, I think we should be fired from our jobs, especially fired from my job. I had no clue. He definitely looked like a starter out there. Just he was flying everywhere. I mean, just beautiful. I mean, his pace is just so fast, and he put the shots on the net. Just beautiful game by the Drakes overall. I mean, especially from just everybody on their roster. Just huge props to Drakes. I'm just kind of excited to see them moving on, and excited to see where they take this going into the next round of the play-ins.
Absolutely. And after a very interesting, it wasn't 5 games. It could have been more content, but still a very good first series, quality content there. We will be heading to a short break with which we will return from and head right into the Titan League, actually, where the Bananas are heavily favored to take out Inferno. But the Bananas, they've been a little bit of an inconsistent team so far. We won't go into depth on that. We'll let the next team of commentators do their job. But that one should definitely be an interesting matchup, in my opinion. You guys won't want to match. You guys won't want to miss it. Charles, thank you for commentating. It was a pleasure, and we will catch you guys right back after this short break.
started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. We are back for our second match of the night. We got 5 bangers coming at you tonight, but right now in our second match, we're going to the Titan League. We've got the number 9 seed Bananas going up against the number 10 seed Inferno. Your boy Psychonautic in the booth, ready to bring this Titan action straight to you, and I'm joined by a Nemesis OG, long-standing member of the Venganza team and a caster here for quite some time. The man, the myth, the legend, Fishy. How you doing tonight, my man?
I'm doing great. You really you humble me with these intros here, Psycho.
I do what I can. All right, so you being the Titan player, fill us in here. We got the Bananas versus Inferno. The survey in Discord is favoring Inferno, 25 votes to Bananas 22 votes. That's pretty close. But what do you think, Fishy?
I think the survey really reflects with how I feel about this matchup. I definitely think it's going to be close and closer than their matchup they had just this last Wednesday, where Inferno did sweep Bananas. But that was a bit uncharacteristic. I feel like Bananas, they could have a much stronger showing than they showed just on the last week of the season.
Yeah, I think you may very well be right about that. And, you know, these teams historically, Bananas are actually in the lead with the series. They're actually leading 6-4 over, you know, the course of the entirety of the Titan League. But in the current season, they're actually 1-1, like you said. Inferno swept Bananas, but earlier in the season, Bananas were able to win 3-1. So this is kind of a symbolic match for them. Not only is one of them going home here tonight, but one of them's going to take essentially the lead for the season record.
Yeah, these are the matches where the teams have their backs against the line, and we just have to wait and see who pulls out on top and steps up in the clutch.
Yes, and we certainly will do that as we're going to get into this Titan League action, ladies and gentlemen. Bananas versus Inferno. One team moves on to play on Saturday for a spot in the playoffs, and the losers go home. Fishy, let me get that official caster prediction from you. From the Titan League, who do you think's taking this?
As much as I like Bananas, I know they were highlighted in that news post as one of the sleeper teams. I do think Inferno has just shown up when it matters most this season, so I can't bet against them, and especially Caden on this Inferno roster, who always shows up in playoffs.
Yes, he certainly does. A well-known player here in the Nemesis Gaming League. He was able to win the Season 3 championship with Pinnacle, and I believe he's a 4-time All-Star player here in the Nemesis League, so definitely expecting to see some pop-off plays from him. One-tap Steph, popping it up. Kaio gets up to it. Butters gonna get demoed before he can get down to the ball. Caden with the flick off the backboard. Can't find the read off of one-tap Steph's car. Tommy popping it up, looking for Bravo. Kyle gets the flick to the mid. One-tap Steph puts it back down to the mid. Caden gonna get to the ball first. Butters taking control. Beat out by Bravo, sending it down. Nobody from Inferno back. This could be dangerous. Bravo off the side, finding the middle. One tap Steph to put it in an empty net. Where was Inferno, Fishy?
I'm not even sure where Inferno went. The replay doesn't even go back far enough to see. It looks like Kaio just over-rotated as the third man. He must have been front left when both of his teammates were going for a passing play. So a huge overcommit from Inferno will gift Bananas the first goal of the game.
And with 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock, Bananas taking the lead in the early or at least in the first half of game number 1. And this is a best of 5 series. So first team to 3 wins. Tommy with the flick past Tommy getting bumped by his teammate in the midfield. Neither teammate able to get to that ball. Butters taking his time off of his backboard. Gets the second touch over Tommy. Caden looking for the dribble, but goes for the fake. Butters with a huge demo play, and Caden gonna slot that one through.
That's a huge play from Butters. He wanted to take the dribble, but realized if he goes for the demo, the defender couldn't do anything about it. That's great team play coming out from Inferno, and especially Butters out of their own defensive end.
Inferno having to claw their way through the regular season to get into this play-in match. They are not going to give up easily. They want that playoff run. Caden looking to get another chip under his belt, I'm sure. Bravo coming in, but he can't get it through Caden. In Inferno's defensive zone, Tommy getting a takeaway by Kaio. The ball's up, still in Inferno's zone. Butters out of his corner. One touch. Can't follow it. Can't beat out Bravo. Off the backboard, one tap. Steph can't get it through the defense as we reach the midway point in this match here, Fishy. Both teams looking pretty good, I gotta say.
Yeah, both looking good, but Inferno definitely looking like the more aggressive team of the two as they go for a double commit there in midfield. But they really seem to be pushing everything into Banana's half, trying to force everything at net, which it could work out for them or it could cost them on a counter, so we'll see if that play style can really help them in this game.
Yeah, eventually one of these teams is going to buckle. Well, who will it be? Right now it's Inferno as one tap Steph, finding that pass from his teammate.
And that's the aggressive playstyle coming to bite Inferno. You see Butters, he could have jumped for a 50 in the midfield, but instead opted to go and steal the opponent's boost, leaving both of his teammates stuck with 0 to fight off the Bananas attack, which, as you can see, it didn't work out for him.
That was a rip play right there, but with 1 minute and 45 seconds left, Inferno still not out of this game. Plenty of time to clap back at the Bananas here. Kaio putting one up, but Tommy gonna get to it. Tommy able to take a little bit of time. 50s with Caden. Butters is up, looking for a second one, but leaves it for Caden. As Kaio's there, he's gonna find the back of the net past two defenders.
What a shot from Kaio here. It's risky to go up for those balls. You see both of his teammates falling from the sky. He doesn't care. He's ready and there to place it bottom corner past two defenders in the net. And that's what Inferno needed to bounce back.
They are now tied, minute 26 on the clock. We got a tied ball game, 2-2. Butters with the fake, but doesn't get it past the last defender. Almost taking the lead. Kaio taking it out to the mid, trying to get control. Has to flick it off the backboard. Caden with the touch, but he's going to bump Bravo on his rotation out. Kaio and Butters both up for the ball as it's sent down to Banana's corner. Butters there with it. It gets bounced out to the mid. Kaio with a long ball off the backboard. Kaio still sticking with it, taking it up the corner, getting the pinch to the mid. One tap Steph, definitely awkward. Trying to stick with the ball, but not able to. As time winds down, we are now under 60 seconds. Both of these teams looking for the back of the net, looking to end it here in regulation. Inferno just a little bit more aggressive than Bananas have been so far, but Bananas not giving up. In the final 30 seconds, one tap Steph with a huge shot on net gets knocked away by Caden. Tommy almost getting a big play in the midfield. Bounce back to Bravo, and Butters makes a save on the goal line. Inferno not giving up defensively, looking to push this into the overtime in the final 10 seconds. Can Kaio and Caden make a play off the backboard? Bravo is there, sending it away. 5 seconds left before we enter overtime. Caden looking for one more shot at it, but it's going to drop. Fishy, we've got overtime in game number 1.
I love what the Bananas are doing right now. They're sending an enforcer into Inferno's half to just create some chaos. They've needed some offense, and maybe those bumps will help them out in the overtime.
Maybe they will. Maybe they'll be the condemning. Oh, KO finding a pass from Butters. I didn't even see him there.
Looks like one tap Steph and Tommy didn't see him there either. They thought that there would be a player rushing for the shot. Both jump up to reach it, but Kaio just waiting there patiently for the ball to fall right to him to place into the open net.
Inferno taking game number 1 of the series. You know they got to be feeling good right now. It always feels good to get that first win. Bananas playing really good with 8 shots on net, 4 saves. They just unfortunately weren't able to crack the Inferno defense as they played really, really strong defense right there. 6 saves of their own.
And I'm really looking at Kaio, who stepped up. Like I said before, he kind of overcommitted for the first goal, giving Bananas the early lead. But after that, he really played lights out, and you see him there, top of the scoreboard for Inferno, and scoring that overtime goal.
Yeah, and I'm also interested to see if Caden was kind of using that as a warm-up match a little bit. He definitely had some good plays in there, but as one of the bigger players here in Nemesis, I'm kind of expecting to see a little bit more pop off from him. We'll have to see. Fishy, I know sometimes people just have nights where they're not popping off, they're not feeling it or whatever, but I always do love to see Caden do his thing on the pitch.
Yeah, it's great to see it whenever he does, but so far in that game one, he didn't need to. His Butters and Kaio really stepped up for him there. Not that he played bad at all, but we know what he can do when he pops off.
Oh, most definitely. Bravo winning that kickoff as we get into game number 2 here, ladies and gentlemen. Inferno up by 1 in the series. Kaio off the sidewall. One tap Steph in the mid. Butters putting it up the wall. And as we ping pong back and forth now a little bit, but it looks like it's going to go in favor of the Bananas here. They're going to get the first look at offensive pressure. One tap Steph up, but missing his touch in the mid. Tommy trying to get a block on Kaio. Kaio not touching the ball. Tommy sticking with it. Bravo off the backboard. One tap up for it, but can't beat out the defender. Tommy sending it back. Butters trying to send it away. Inferno just trying to get out of their defensive zone at this point, Fishy. They haven't had much offensive time yet.
Yeah, they're really struggling to get some boost. We saw earlier there, Caden went all the way to Banana's side to try and steal their boost and bring it back for his team, but he even got demoed right away. So really nothing Inferno has been doing has been helping them get out of their own half yet.
And that's quite unfortunate for them, as we know that no matter how good you may be at defense, if you just have to constantly be saving shots, eventually either your rotations are going to mess up or you're going to have a mechanical issue. Something's going to happen. A crack is going to form, and then the other team's going to score. But we're still sitting at a 0-0 score line with 3 minutes and 30 seconds. Neither of these teams able to find the back of the net. One tap, putting it up, almost getting the bar down, goes off the crossbar. Bravo not able to make the read. Caden sends it out. Butters trying to get the redirect up. One tap there for it. Kaio out to Butters in the mid. Butters going to beat out the defender, but they leave it. One tap going to get a free look here. Down to Tommy. Can't get it through Butters. The 50 comes out in Inferno's defensive zone. Caden up in the corner, sends it down. One tap to the mid, looking for Bravo. Finds him as it goes up the sidewall. Tommy taking his time with it. Caden making a save there as Tommy sends one on net from the midfield. We get closer and closer to the halfway point here in game number 2, Fishy. Still, neither of these teams have scored. Neither of them really doing as much offensively as they were. Oh my! Let me put my foot directly in my mouth as the one tap Steph comes out.
Yeah, it really wasn't open net on the first touch there, but he had to style on him with the double off the ground. That really is just a result of Banana's sustained pressure. You could see no big clears able to come out from Inferno for 2.5 minutes. If you can't get one clear out, eventually one of those shots going to find its way in the net.
Not only that, but Inferno still with 0 shots on net halfway through this game. They have not been able to generate any offensive pressure, and you can't score any goals if you don't make any shots, as we all know. And Tommy putting it down off the crossbar, the double commit coming out from Bananas. Unfortunate for them is that could have been a conversion. One tap Steph with the pinch. Sends it off the backboard. Bravo not able to get up to it in time. Caden with the second touch. Can't get it through one tap. Butters coming in like a wrecking ball, but his shot gonna go highly wide of the net. Caden with the bounce up to Butters with the bounce as well. Tommy out of the corner. Not not able to do too much with it as Caden is going to send it out in 1 minute and 35 seconds now left on the clock here, Fishy. Bananas up by 1. Inferno still zero recorded shots on net.
Yeah, Bananas aren't letting their foot off the gas. They're still trying to keep everything out in front of them in Inferno's half, which hasn't come to bite them just yet. Inferno had a couple of good looks at goal, but just unable to convert them so far.
Butters getting up in front of Tommy, keeping him from being able to redirect that one towards his net. Bravo and Tommy gonna double commit there. Caden bounces it off the backboard. One tap puts it towards his corner, but Caden is still there. And Inferno gonna double there. The ball gets, and the last defender gets beat out, but Kyle makes it back in time. Caden with a huge clear, sending it all the way back to the Bananas wall. Kyle with the control, low 50s, but can't keep control of the ball. And Caden off the sidewall, sending it up. Bravo's there for it. 30 seconds left now. Inferno really needing to find the back of the net here. And Kyle might do just that, but Bravo making a last second save, popping it up just in time. 20 seconds on the clock now. Inferno looking like they might just drop game number 2 here. Bananas looking to tie the series. In the final 10 seconds, Inferno has to do something right now if they want to tie this game up and send it into another OT. Kyle with the pop, gets it away from Bravo. Butters trying to keep it up. One tap, pops it away, and then gonna put it down. Bananas, your winners of game number 2. We got a tied series, ladies and gentlemen.
And really just missing some of that offensive prowess from Inferno. Only one shot in the entire game coming in the last 20 seconds there. It seems like their rotations were a bit off. They just couldn't follow each other's touches the whole game and left to them getting suffocated.
Yeah, and I mean, I gotta say, not trying to toss shade or anything here, but for a Titan match, that felt really, really slow. Like, really nothing was happening. The Bananas did have a lot of good sustained pressure there, but even that, 7 shots only turned into 1 goal. And Inferno only had to save 4 of those shots. So really, Bananas weren't doing a whole lot on the offensive zone, in their offensive zone, even though it was more than Inferno, and that's essentially what gave them the win.
And a lot of times with those slower games, it's due to really wide rotations taken. You see a lot of times players from both of these teams going all the way to the opponent's corner for demos, for boost, and that leaves the man on the ball with no boost to work with, which slows down the play a ton. So if they just kind of play with each other, all 3 back, I think we could see the pace speed up quite a bit.
We'll see how game number 3 goes as we move into the Coliseum. Kyle in the midfield pops it up. Tommy's there to make the touch. Up to Bravo off the wall. Butters pops it up. Caden gets the beat, but then gets batted away from following the ball. And Tommy trying to get it out to the mid. Caden clearing it out. Caden sticking with it. Tries to read it off Bravo. Bravo not getting a touch. One tap, gonna get the demo off Butters. Caden missing the touch on Bravo. Butters with the 50, but this is dangerous for Inferno. Caden is there. Sends the ball away. Kaio sticking with it, trying to get the flick past Tommy. Not able to. Caden getting dunked by Bravo, and nobody back. One tap's gonna steal that.
Again, this comes all the way down to about 10 seconds ago when Butters, he tried to drive under Kaio to go for a demo, and all of a sudden he's not back in rotation to be in net. Inferno has been missing their third man because they have been overcommitting him on these offensive plays.
And that's definitely something they're not going to be able to do, not with how aggressive this Bananas roster is. They're going to punish them for it a lot. We've seen them punished for it multiple times so far in this series, and if they don't quit doing that, they're going to continue to get punished for it. Kaio going to leave the ball, let one tap get a touch on it. Tommy's there for it. He beats out the defender. Now Bananas up by 2.
What a play from one tap off of the wall. Looks like all Inferno players waiting for him to put a shot on net. Instead, he just drops it down to Tommy. What a smart touch from him, realizing that he had space to dump it off to a teammate.
And good speed from Tommy there, able to get up there and find that pass from one tap. Love to see the chemistry coming out from this team. Butters. Gonna get it stolen away by Tommy. Tommy looking for the bump, finds it on Kyle, but Caden able to get in front of the ball, get the save. Kyle in the midfield finds Caden. Caden can't get anything past the corner. Tommy sends it down. Tommy to follow. Kyle gonna come from behind, take it away from him. Double commit from Inferno there, but it works out for him. Tommy misses his touch in the corner. Kyle up to Butters in the corner. Butters trying to follow. One tap just gonna take it away from him. One tap out of the corner, looking for a teammate in the mid. Nobody there. Tommy not gonna commit on that. Hayden gonna get control, turn things around for Inferno. Gonna have to 50 and not able to do anything there. And we're seeing, Fishy, here, we are seeing a repeat of game number 2 for Inferno. They still 0 shots. Did they even get a single shot last game?
They had only one, so that's now 1 shot in about 8 minutes of play. And full credit to Bananas, because every time this Inferno team looks like they get a good touch out, Bananas are right there to just take a neutral 50 and keep the ball where they want it to be.
That's very true, and it does seem to be working out for him. One tap with a huge shot right there. But Inferno stayed strong. Butters finding that one near the ground, sinks it in, and has a little counterattack of their own.
And that's their first goal since game 1. They really needed that. And it just comes from a quick counterattack, like you said. They just needed that one clear out, and all of a sudden, they might come out of nowhere and take this game.
Could very well. There's 2 minutes left on the clock, a little over. Plenty of time for anything to happen. And Rocket League, Kyle looking for the one-timer from Caden. Gets a good shot, but one tap was there to make the stop. Ball gets popped up, floating in the midfield. Butters sending it back towards the Bananas goal. Bravo there for it. Gets one touch. Leaves it for one tap with the shot. Kyle can't make the stop. That is a feels bad moment.
Yeah, and it's even worse because it looked like Caden might have gotten to that save too. Just not expecting Kyle to jump for that one. I don't know if something went wrong in comms there, calling someone off or something. But that's just an unfortunate defensive play from Inferno when really either of them could have made that save.
That's very true. Unfortunate touch from Kyle there. Yeah, I know that feels bad. I know the position he was in. He was looking at that going, oh, that's in, that's in. I have to make this touch. And he did make the touch. Unfortunate, just barely bounced off the crossbar, went in. But hey, Bananas up by 2 now, 3-1 with 1:20 seconds left on the clock. Inferno needing to find a second goal quickly. If they want to stay alive here in game number 3. One tap, not able to get anything else off the flip reset. Bravo stayed back, gets the touch into his corner. Trying to stick with it, but it looked like the entire Inferno roster was there. They are trying to turn the aggression up high. They know they have less than 60 seconds to start making some plays here. They're going to be in a very tough position with the big booming clear. One tap, able to put it into the Bananas corner. Butters there with the shot. Bravo not ready for that one. A beamer.
And all of a sudden, it looks like Inferno's starting to get all of the pressure. Couple of touches in a row going off Bananas' backboard without a clear to be found. And man, what a shot from Butters there, top corner though. You can't stop that no matter how many goalies are in net.
Yeah, you love to see that placement right there. Butters with a great shot. And now with 37 seconds left on the clock, Inferno only down by 1. This is very doable by Caden and the boys.
Oh.
And oh no, the demo coming out on Kyle. Kyle able to make it back off the respawn and make the save right there. 20 seconds now as Caden and Butters attack this ball, trying to get it into the Bananas net. 15 seconds, Kyle out of the Inferno corner with the second touch, looking for the third. One tap to take it away from him. Butters putting a long ball on Bravo, making it back in time. Butters keeping it up and alive. Tommy trying to put it down. Kyle not gonna let it go, but one tap gonna finally put it down. Bananas gonna be your winners in game number 3. They're now sitting at match point for the series.
And what a tale of two halves for that game. The first 2:30 of that, it looked like Bananas were gonna take it comfortably 4 or 5-0, but all of a sudden in the end, Inferno started to make him shake a little bit. even to the point where Bananas missed a bit of an open net towards the end.
Yeah, that was very interesting right there. It looked like Inferno was about to come back. They were starting to get things together. They were starting to breathe some life back into their team. Maybe they'll be able to roll with that momentum. They can't afford to lose another game in the series. They have to win the next 2 games if they want to take the W and stay alive for the season. Otherwise, Bananas, they're going to be the ones moving on. So we'll have to see right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. It's a do or die moment for Inferno. Game number 4 in the Forbidden Temple. If there was any arena that they could make it happen, it's definitely going to be this one. We'll have to see if they're able to, or if Bananas are going to close things out and move forward in the play-ins. Butters out of the corner, can't stick with the ball. Bravo to send it out to the mid. One tap down, back to Bravo. Caden with the big clear off of the wall. Tommy not going to stick with it, leaves it for KO. I got to stop myself real quick, Fishy. I just got to ask, am I saying his name right or am I saying it wrong? Do you know, is it KO or Kyo?
I think it's Kyo. I think with the I in there, yeah.
Okay, bet, because I hate getting people's names wrong, and I apologize. Oh my goodness, Caden with a huge shot, but it's going to bounce off of the crossbar. Tommy to send that one away from the Bananas goal. Caden with the 50. Bravo down to Tommy. Tommy putting one towards Inferno's net. Butters gonna make a catch and an easy save. Gets the flick, but immediately demoed. Kyo coming in for the revenge demo to even the odds, if you will. Tommy with the soft touch in Inferno's corner. Kyo gets it on top of his car. I'm not sure what they were doing. It almost worked, but it didn't. I can't tell if Butters messed that up or if it. What did you see right there, Fishy? You being the Titan, was that a blunder or was that almost an amazing thing?
You know, sometimes. Oh no, you can't hand it off. Oh no.
Never mind. It doesn't matter what it was.
Unfortunate from Kyo there. Really, it's been a couple of unfortunate ones for him. He's really just got to clear his head. There's plenty of time left for Inferno to come back here.
There certainly is, and yeah, you know, you hate to be in that position. Hopefully he can come up clutch, get his mind straight, and Inferno can bring this one back. If not, Bananas gonna be moving forward, sending Inferno home. Butters with a good bump on Tommy, not allowing him to get any sort of offensive look. Butters going to take control in the corner. Butters coming off the ceiling, looking for a teammate to pass it back to. Nobody there. He makes the second touch off of the ceiling. Kyo getting control, pops it up. Caden just a little bit too fast to the play. Bravo popping it up, looking for the dumble, not able to find it, but Tommy there to clean things up. Bananas now take a 2-point lead.
And Kyo really was just left stranded there. You see Caden, he left the net looking for the boost in the back left corner. But the shot from Tommy was just coming too quick for him to get back to it. It looks like Inferno, they're just playing a bit too over-eager at the moment and letting Bananas have their way.
And you definitely can't leave yourself in a 2v1 against this Bananas roster. They've shown that they have great chemistry. They're able to find each other multiple times throughout a match. You cannot give them that or they will take advantage of it, as we've seen them do multiple times throughout the series. I'm sure they will continue to do it if Inferno allows them to keep getting the 2v1s in their defensive zone. Caden with the 50 there. Kyo making the touch to send it out. Caden not able to beat one tap to the ball, and he's just got an open look on net.
And it really was just a smart play there from Steph, waiting for the weak clear to come out and banging it right back in the net. Again, the patience from Bananas is doing them wonders when these touches from Inferno are seeming a bit panicked right now. They'll really have to calm it down in the last half of the game if they want to mount a comeback.
They're certainly going to have to. I don't know if it's possible. I want to believe, I truly do, but this Bananas roster has been playing so solid during this series. Aside from game number 1, where Inferno picked up the W there, Bananas was essentially warming up, in my opinion, during that match, and it definitely has been showing during game 2 and game number 3 and game number 4 as well, as they have a 3-point lead, a 4-point lead with 1 minute and 48 seconds left on the clock.
They're just gonna keep putting on the pressure. It's Bravo again, throwing it out mid. He must have like 10 assists in this match, the way he keeps passing it middle to his teammates, and they keep putting it into the open nets. And it's not looking too good for Inferno here, down 4-0.
Not looking good at all, but Caden looking to get one for the road. Caden finally starting to throw in these mechanical plays. Gets that flip reset, but can't get it through the defense. Banana's just a little bit too strong right now for this Inferno roster. As time winds down, they definitely got to find a quick goal here, and quite possibly they're going to want a goal directly off of the kickoff of scoring to cut the lead of the Bananas in half. As time, ticks down for this Inferno roster. We have just over 60 seconds left. Oh my goodness, that hurts my heart, Fish.
That really does sting for Kaio. I don't think he could even get there. It's close, I don't know, but take nothing away from the touch from Bravo. It's hard to get any power on those at all, and to even hit that on net takes a ton of skill. Not that it matters too much up 4-0, but he's really showing off his mechanics late in this one.
Yeah, that is, like you said, not that it matters, but hey, you love to see it regardless. And with 50 seconds left, I don't know if it's possible. Mathematically, definitely possible for Inferno to come back. But with the way these Bananas have been playing, they've been playing bananas in this series, and that's no Kizzy, no cap. In the final 30 seconds, winding down here. It's looking grim. It's looking dire, Fishy. But you know, hey, you got to give it up. Inferno, they played really good that first game. The second game, they put up a pretty good fight. And hey, Butters gonna get at least one more goal for the road. Got to give respect there.
Yeah, they definitely haven't given up this entire series. I thought they looked out of it like 2 minutes into game 2 even. It looked like they were going to a point of no return, but they've kept their heads in it for the whole time. So full respect to these guys for showing up today.
100%. You love to see the competitiveness. You love to see the respect between the respect and the sportsmanship, and just bringing your all. And Butters said, "I'm not done. I'm not done. I got a few more seconds. Let me get one."
3 and 3 more seconds, is it doable?
I think technically it is. I've seen goals scored in 1 second off the kickoff, right? So if that happens 3 times in a row in favor of Inferno, we got an OT.
Oh.
And it didn't happen. But hey, it was, it was possible. It's Rocket League. Bananas, congratulations. You're moving on to play on Saturday against, I can't even remember right now. My brain is so frazzled. Every time, Fishy, I watch Titan League, I'm astounded.
Well, they do move on to play Vanguard, is the team you're forgetting about there.
Yes.
Which could be an interesting matchup because both these teams had similar trajectories throughout the season. They both started out really hot, looking like the 2 of the top 3 teams, but again, both falling down into this play-in bracket eventually. It'd be a bit of a grudge match coming out in that play-in bracket.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see for sure. And then the winner of that match will actually be securing the 8th seed in the playoffs, and they'll be going up against the number 1 seed Krakens. So whoever wins in between those two teams has got a massive mountain standing in front of them.
Yeah, for sure. But whoever comes out of that one, they'll have momentum, to say the least, making their way through the play-in bracket. So we'll see what can happen once one of those teams play Krakens. But for now, I'm just looking forward to Bananas Vanguard.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a good one. But another good one is the match that we have coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen. After we get back from our break, we're going to be in the rival league where we have Whiteout going up against Vortex. That's going to be a pretty spicy one, I think. Fishy, I want to thank you for joining me in the booth. It's always a pleasure, my guy.
Yeah, I'm here to thank you as well. And shout out to all the fans watching here today as well.
Yeah, shout out to the community. Shout out to everybody that's come out. here tonight, showed up. I see a lot of viewers in chat. That's awesome. You'll love to see it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got merch in the store. We're a Discord. If you're not a part of the Discord, join up. We're a threes league. We're at the end, we're in the playoffs and the play-ins, and then we usually take about an 8-week break, give or take a few weeks for a playoff, or excuse me, for an off season before we will be getting back into season 8. So you have plenty of time, if you're not a part of the Discord, to get in the Discord, get your name out there, start playing in some 6-mans, get known in the community so you can find yourself a spot on a team next season. And I think that's pretty much going to do it for us. So yeah, appreciate everybody coming out. We're going to take a quick break here. I think about 6 or 7 minutes if you need to use a bathroom, anything like that. And when we get back, we're going into the rival league. It's going to be nice. So we'll see you in a couple.
Feel my arms holding on so tight just when you need it most. Feel the freedom of being careless, just being in love. Everything will be alright. Through the darkness, through the night, no fear anymore. No fear anymore. No fear anymore. Why the smile on your face? Don't fake it. You don't have to pretend. What a fear in your eyes will make it. Just take a chance. The thing that haunts you, leave it behind you. The ones that love you, let them guide you. Everything will be alright. Through the darkness, through the night, no fear anymore. No fear anymore. No fear anymore. Started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where the grind continues. I am not your caller. I am your play-by-play, Puggles here, and I am graciously joined by Magic Pepperoni. Pepperoni, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited to not cheer on, but kind of on look my one of my orgs teams and Whiteout here and see what they can do against Vortex. A matchup that I don't think went too well for Whiteout the first time around, so they're looking for some revenge here, and it's always fun in the rival league. Both these teams had pretty average seasons, to be fair. Whiteout 10-8, Vortex 8-10, but they kind of finished around the same spot, and they were looking at an elimination game tonight here, Puggles. And I know neither one of these teams want to go home this early because I think they both believe they can make late season runs.
Yeah, absolutely. Both of these teams looking really well. You know, my org, Vortex, you know, they started off a little shaky in the rival league, and then they made a huge roster change. They threw out the old, brought in the new, and they just seemed to bounce back from that. But With that being said, I know you've done your research here, Pepperoni. What do you got to tell me about these two teams?
Well, on one hand, hopefully Farrow does end up starting. It's Larry, Farrow, and Quick Snail, usually the starting roster for Whiteout, but with Farrow having some internet issues, it might just be Koala Bear coming in to try to save the day and get Whiteout to that game against Chimeras to see who goes to the playoffs. But on the other hand, let me pull up Vortex, Ice Panther, Flame Intruder, and Saucy with Lush rounding out the roster. Very stacked rosters on both sides. Surprising these two teams ended up just barely scraping into the play-in tournament because these are some big names, some guys that are known all around rival for being very mechanical players and not known for many mistakes. So, I mean, on one side of things, you have to expect Larry to ride Whiteout to a win. He's always been their guy, and if he can do it here tonight with a sub, he's the real deal. On the other side, I mean, Flame Intruder is that guy for me. He's that stick out name where I see his name like, okay, he is getting the goals for this team. So either way, this is going to be a fun match, and I cannot wait for it to get started, Buggles.
Yeah, me neither. And it looks like we got both of these teams in the lobby. So, Pepperoni, right back to you. Who do you got taking the matchup here?
I mean, you know the answer to that one, man. I can't go against my boys. I got Larry. Larry has never let me down, and I'm taking Whiteout in the full 5 games. I trust in Larry. I trust in Koala and Quick Snail. I think they can get it done.
Yeah, and he's gonna agree with the fan vote in the Twitch chat here. 56 points going to Whiteout, 44 going to Vortex. But with all that being said, 10 seconds in, the ball's just kind of staying close to these white players. The white players being Vortex, the blue players being Whiteout. This is a best of 5 in the plans. The winner goes and plays Chimeras, the current 8 seed. Flame Intruder is going to throw it up the wall to Koala, the big sub in for Whiteout. He's going to try and stay close, and a bit of a double commit here from Vortex as Larry's going to clean it up, sends it mid. Quick Snail not able to get it past Flame Intruder as Lush is going to miss one off the ceiling, but Saucy's able to clean up for him. Larry's looking to center it, not quite going to get it there. He's 50'd away. Now Vortex looking to break out onto this offensive half. Larry keeping it close into the corner. He's just going to stick with it. Centers it for C, and a bit of a mistake already.
Yeah, not to give an excuse for Larry, but you can see he's already battling the ping, and that one probably looked a little different on his screen, but either way, not the best decision to send that midfield. And as you've already pointed out, Lucius in the lobby for Vortex coming in for Ice Panther, so we didn't exactly have that info coming into this match, but so far it's working out as Lush fitting in nicely and Saucy trying to get the read. But I mean, either way, aside from that one mistake from Larry, it's pretty much been even footing so far, and not a lot showing this early in the series.
Yeah, it's been very even. That is definitely for sure. But Larry, he has a chance to make up, but not able to get it by Lush. The Vortex sub up, or the Vortex sub in. Saucy, 50's one Flame Intruder is gonna throw it off the backboard. Lush is already up in the air, looking to send it off the backboard for the third. But Saucy not wanting to commit. He's just gonna watch it go back into his half. Lush able to get a monster clear out. Quick Snail needs to rush back to get there. He's gonna beat Lush, but he's not gonna be able to follow it. As Saucy high up in the air, puts it past one, not quite on target. And Lush just gonna send it into the corner where Quick Snail's gonna take over and send it out. Larry, a huge clear onto the backboard, but Flame Intruder able to meet it, and he gets another touch, but another double commit from Vortex. Lush getting a little antsy here, a little bit of nerves. As Koala, huge up in the air, sends it off the wall to Quick Snail, who gets a huge 50. Lush off the ceiling, able to stay with it. It's not going to get 50'd for a bit as Koala manages to get there. And we're halfway through this game, Pepperoni. And there's been a few mistakes here from Vortex, but what does Whiteout need to do to capitalize on them?
I mean, the main thing I'm noticing is when they're missing Pharaoh, Pharaoh's the guy that really gets Larry involved in the scoring. Pharaoh's a pass-first kind of player. Those two players really go well together. And Koala, he's not exactly the same type of player. He's the kind of guy that just beats you to every ball he goes for. He's very quick to the ball as a whip comes through, and this gets very dangerous here. Lush off the top post to the goal, and it will remain at the 1-0 scoreline. But yeah, as you said, Whiteout, they need to get some way to get each other involved. Looking for a passing play here, just barely off of target, and Koala trying to get the first goal of the game for Whiteout.
Those passing plays, so
Oh
important,
my
especially
gosh.
a huge flip reset from Larry. Not quite gonna muster it in on his own. As Quicksnail, he beats one, sends it out mid. Flame Intruder needs to beat Larry. And he does. As Larry gets the touch into the corner. Koala is there, makes one jump, and Lush sends it to safety in the corner, where Saucy's gonna follow it up. Throws it back to Lush. Lush gets it back past one. Larry, the last one back, able to clean it up. Picks it up in the air, but not able to get by Flame Intruder. The Flame Intruder gets by two. Koala needs to hurry back. Quicksnail needing to save his teammate from a disastrous, or what could have been a disastrous touch. Larry gets demoed off the ball. Flame Intruder keeps it up high. Lush sending it out mid, but cleaned up by Koala, trying to find some offensive pressure. And that's honestly what they've been missing so far, Pepperoni.
Yeah, and the main thing you're gonna have to see for how Whiteout goes on around the series is how does Koala fit in this roster, and how can they figure out success with the lineup they're not used to. This is completely new water if you're a Whiteout member. I mean, Koala, he's a very capable player who can just take control of any series. Even as a sub, as a shot comes one from Luch, and there's the sub from Vortex making his name pop up right in the screen.
And that pass from Saucy is just next level. There's no way any of the defenders from Whiteout are able to take it. And Vortex, they're looking a little dangerous here, Pepperoni.
Yeah, they really are, and it's the thing that I'm noticing more than anything else right now is Lush looks like a starter. Like, I'm not sure if we're just wrong and Lush has been the starter for a while now, but I'm pretty sure this guy's a sub, and you cannot tell any difference. This is a roster that looks really good together, and Whiteout on the other side, not looking exactly like they've been scrimming with, Pharaoh out. They haven't been ready for this situation. And with the last few seconds rolling around and that offensive attack not coming into fruition, this is probably going to be a Game 1 victory for Vortex. So even though I have Whiteout winning, I probably should have mentioned you have to expect this Whiteout roster to start off slow. They're not used to this, and a 3-0 loss, probably not the best start, not the best look for Whiteout. But I have confidence that we have a long series ahead of us because a lot of these goals were just hard-earned, lots of pressure finally ending up in a goal. So we'll see how Whiteout can bounce back in Game 2, I guess.
Yeah, and Whiteout, I don't know if this is true or not. This is kind of just a rumor I've heard, but I have heard that Ice Panther has been out for a few series leading up to this. So Lush, he's been able to step up and play in quite a few games up until the end of the season, and part of that could be part of the reason why they haven't been making it or winning so many series. But it does look like Whiteout, they're gonna try it with Pharaoh. Even with his internet issues. So it's going to be an interesting, change up here from this first game.
Yeah, I mean, Larry, you can see his ping. I don't know if you can see it. You probably can't, but he is lagging himself. So he's like, if I can play through this, you can too, Pharaoh. We got to do something now, or else we're going home before our postseason run even gets started. You do not want to get swept out of the play-ins, especially with your starters sitting on the bench because of some lag. So why not start with your main roster and hope that the ping takes care of itself? Because there is not much of anything that we saw in Whiteout in that last game. I mean, Larry had a couple attempts, 4 shots on target, but it's got to be Quicksnail and Koala getting more involved and trying to get Larry involved in the shooting category. We saw one pass for Koala, had a shot, a nice passing play, was just off target. If he puts that top corner, it's probably a goal. This is a completely different storyline right now, but I think this is probably the correct decision to try out Pharaoh and hope that something, makes itself happen with your starting roster.
No, I completely agree. The passes, they were there here and there, but the amount of them just wasn't enough to beat out this Whiteout team. And like you said, now we're bringing in Pharaoh. He's the person that enables Larry, I guess is a word that you could use, and I think that's gonna really show here in this next game as Pharaoh, his internet's not looking too great, but it's not flashing red, so I guess that's something.
Yeah, I guess green is better than red. That's a good point. And as you said, this is about getting Larry to where he is comfortable to just take over the series. I don't know if having Koala in made him feel like, oh, I got to play more defensive or whatever it was, but I feel like you're completely right. With having Pharaoh in, he's got to completely feel back in his element. Hopefully can take over the series for his team.
Yeah, and so far it hasn't been looking too great as the ball's been stuck on this blue half, but now we see their first opportunity to get it out. And Larry, he's already up in the air. He's going to send it off the corner, get a double here. Not able to reach it, but Saucy another double commit here from Vortex. We really got to look forward and see when is Whiteout going to start capitalizing on those.
Yeah, and I mean, right now it's looking like Quicksnail with an aerial attempt. He had a whiff come through about 30 seconds ago that probably could have been a long stay on the Vortex defensive half as a boomer comes through from Lush, but Quicksnail, as I'm dogging on him, does make the save for his team. But I want to see offense, much more meaningful attacks and harder shots to save than what I'm seeing right now, because it's not a lot to write home about so far for Whiteout.
Couldn't agree more. As so far, Vortex, they have all the offensive pressure, and Lush just had to get by Pharaoh, but Pharaoh's able to stand big on the defensive end. As Quicksnail's gonna pick it up. Saucy, huge 50 all the way down. Larry rushing back, he's the last one. A big read off the corner, sends it middle for Lush, who tries to put it in, but Larry just able to get in front of the ball. Lush sends it over to Saucy, who beats Quicksnail. Saucy back up in the air, but it doesn't matter. Flame Intruder's there anyways.
Can I just give a shout out to Saucy right now, who is running this game? Oh my gosh, this guy does not miss his corner reads. And even with one demo coming through, Quicksnail takes out one. It doesn't matter, they're all together. It's just an easy shot to finish off for Flame Intruder, getting his name on the screen. The guy I called out, who's probably been most quiet so far, and it doesn't really matter when he has Lush and Saucy just absolutely popping off right now. But pretty much the same storyline as game one. After about a minute and a half, Vortex finally does crack the armor of Whiteout, and we need to see something now because they're starting to bleed out a little bit. You don't want to see that as another one's going to roll into the net. Saucy, he's doing it all right now.
Saucy can set up and he can score, and so far that's pretty much been the story of this series, as Saucy's been taking over this game. He arguably took over last game, and now we need to see a huge comeback, or not a huge comeback, a huge bounce back for Whiteout, as Flame Intruder sends one on target, but Pharaoh able to save it away this time. But a harder shot would make it a little bit more difficult for that save to come in, as Larry, he's taking it all the way down, gets it by one. Flame Intruder in an awkward position, manages to make the best out of it, and sends it to the midfield as Saucy's able to pounce on it. Lush there in the middle. 50's Larry goes off the corner to the middle. Larry beats one and his own teammate as Lush sends it mid for Saucy, but Saucy realized the danger he was in, rushes back, goes off the ceiling. He has an open net if he can reach it. He's just going to leave it for Flame Intruder. He gets 50 away. Larry takes it down. Pharaoh is there hunting for that goal, but not able to find it quite yet. Flame Intruder, a huge clear down. Saucy sending it into the corner. But Larry's able to clean it up, and 2 minutes remaining, and we've seen more offensive pressure, but the quality is just not there. It seems like they get one chance and it goes the complete other way.
Yeah, you're right. It's pretty much the same storyline we saw in game one, where it's like they have chances to do something on offense, but it's not really taking any form that's scary for the Vortex defense. It's like, oh, okay, I'm rotating completely normally, and I'm getting an easy save, clearing it downfield to my teammate. As we see here, Lush with boost to work with. Can he send Whiteout home in game two? Not quite, but a minute and a half left to go here, Puggles. They need probably nothing short of a miracle, and it cannot come from Larry. This guy, he's doing so much right now. Even with the lag that Pharaoh and Larry are dealing with, they're still somehow in the series right now. So if Vortex can take it up a notch, this is going to get ugly, but I really want to see a prolonged series. I want to see Quicksnail make something happen himself.
Quicksnail, the name we haven't said too much so far is Saucy. Tries to send it mid once again for his teammate, but Lush able to cut off that clearing attempt as Pharaoh's throwing it off his own backboard to Larry, who pops it up in the air, beats two. Lush is the last one on defense. And Larry do it. No, Lush able to stand big in the net, and that opportunity goes by the wayside as Lush not able to find another touch, but he's still just so threatening. But Larry, he has an open net, tries to send out mid for Quicksnail, but it's not fast enough, as everything that Whiteout tried to do is just being saved away.
It's just so sad. Even when it looks like there's no way they don't get out of here without a goal, it just happens again, and they're still looking at getting perfect swept right now, and it's going from bad to worse as that one's going to find the back of the net. Flame Intruder getting it done for his second goal of the match, and just like that, another 3-0 scoreline here in game two.
Oh, this is something you don't like to see, as the same exact scoreline, like you said, they took out Koala, brought in They brought in Pharaoh, and so far it hasn't
Oh,
been
no.
looking good. It almost looks worse, but Pharaoh able to save it away. Now Larry, he's gonna try and get at least one on the board. Gets rejected by Flame Intruder as the ball just sits in the white corner, and that's gonna do it for game 2. Whiteout, they need to reverse sweep now.
Yeah, this is dangerous waters to be in now for a whiteout. I mean, Saucy is just looking too fast for them to handle right now. It seems like I don't want to keep bringing up ping, but I mean, there's two guys with over 120 ping right now. That is rough to deal with. So you know they're tilted, and they have to somehow battle a Vortex team that is just playing so well together. It doesn't matter the ping. Vortex looks like the better team, just straight up, and that's hard to say for me being a whiteout dude because I know that this team is capable of bringing this to game 5 and taking it. But Vortex, either they're just peaking at the right time, or this team has been doing this all season, and they just needed a little more, confidence, a reason to wake up in a play-in tournament match like this with your season on the line. That's plenty of a boost of confidence right there. We got to do this now, kind of thing. So going into game 3, backs against the ropes for 3 games straight. Who's going to be the guy that steps up? I really want to see Quick Snail, make a name for himself. We always talk about Larry and Pharaoh. Quick Snail can be that guy, and I would really love him to see him be that guy in this game where it's win or go home for Whiteout.
Yeah, and honestly, there's something that we haven't seen from Whiteout that could toss it in their favor. I haven't seen any demos come out from Whiteout. There's been no aggression, and honestly, I want to hear your opinion, Pepperoni. Do you think that is what Whiteout needs at this point to try and get something going?
I mean, maybe not. I mean, demos, you're definitely right. Demos do help, but stopping the perfect sweep this early in game 3 has to give you some momentum, kind of get your spirits back up. Yeah, I was thinking that in game 2, and they had a chance where if somebody just goes for a demo, it just rolls into the net, but they didn't even think about it. That's definitely something you can try. When you're back to the drawing board at this point, down 2 games in the series, you got to throw everything you have in the book. And right now, they start up 1-0, but it was just a kickoff goal. So now can they actually take something of their own and get their offense rolling now that they're in an equal setting off a kickoff?
Yeah, that's going to be the important question here is Flame Intruder. He 50s Pharaoh there, but it goes out to Larry. Larry off the corner has to beat Saucy, but Saucy's able to hold his own on the defensive end as Flame Intruder sends it off his own backboard. He's going to follow it, beats out Pharaoh, and Lush able to help clean up that ball in front of the net. But now the ball loose in front of the net. Quick Snail, it doesn't manage to go in. It goes off a crossbar. And now Flame Intruder, a huge clear, goes all the way into the Whiteout corner. And this is so far looking a little bit better for Whiteout. But they're not able to find any goals. That's not from a kickoff, as this one looks dangerous.
No.
It might just sink in. But it's going to go just over as Saucy's huge clear is looking a little bit dangerous as Larry sends it towards the white net and not able to put it on target. As Saucy, another huge clear, is able to beat out one. The ball goes right in front of the net. Lush not able to beat out Larry, but Flame Intruder back over to Lush. Lush to the middle, but Saucy not there in time as Quick Snail. You wanted him to make a name, and so far he's been playing some knockout defense.
He sure has, but it does seem like a lot of the times it's Whiteout. They have a minute straight of offense, and they just get cleared out so easily. And it seems like Vortex, they do so little, and they immediately have a chance to score. One clear, and Whiteout's gonna panic out of nowhere. Whereas, Whiteout, it takes forever for them to get a goal. Pharaoh with a 1v1 situation, trying to show the one skills, and he does just that with the wave dash, or whatever it was that took the power to this shot, and a 2-0 lead for Whiteout.
Oh, Flame Intruder just caught, standing still in the defense. Not what you like to see is, or not Lush. Pharaoh, he's gonna get a nice goal here, puts his team up 2, and that's the offensive prowess that we've known Whiteout to have. As Pharaoh gets a big goal, an important one that is not meaningless, but one that comes at their own accord and not off a kickoff. As Larry, he's gonna try and do it again as he 50s one, throws it to Quick Snail. Quick Snail going to double tap it, but it gets saved away by Vortex as it stays in their corner. Flame Intruder there, keep it there. Lush and Larry 50, but it's gonna go out towards the mid. But Pharaoh able to beat out the Vortex player. He's gonna stay on it, throws it off the backboard. Saucy, he's able to get to it. An impressive clear, but Larry's able to shut it down in the midfield. And now this kind of looks like a huge role reversal as Vortex, they are scoreless here with halfway through the game.
Yeah, and I mean, as you pointed out, Pharaoh has the only real goal for Whiteout all series long. That one kickoff goal didn't really mean much. Sure, it still means the same thing with one goal to your scoreline, but Pharaoh is still the only guy to find the back of the net. There's a 1v1 situation. Larry looking for the double, but Lush, he's always on the stupid backboard. You know they hate it when they go for a shot, and Lush on backboard. Pharaoh had an opening, not a lot of boost to work with, but so far, you're completely right. This is Vortex feeling what Whiteout has been feeling all series long, backs against the ropes. But I mean, you're up 2 goals in games in the series. How much pressure is really on you? I mean, surely you don't want to get reverse swept on stream out of the postseason, but right now, Whiteout look a lot more comfortable. And the most important thing is Pharaoh looks comfortable. Pharaoh is beating every single challenge. He is looking like the guy we've seen all season, and you'll love to see that for Whiteout.
As Pharaoh's internet issues seems to be subsiding for now, and that could be a huge reason why. Pharaoh, he gets that touch again. Larry, a huge demo onto the Vortex defensive end. Saucy needs to come out of the net and make a play. Lush is there. He's able to get by one, but not by Larry as he sends it to the middle.
No
He gets another touch because why not? And Pharaoh, he's going to clean it up. Bounces it mid. Lush, a little awkward. Now the touch could not be made. And Quicksell's a free ball in front of the net.
Pharaoh is too good, dude. What a dunk. Dunks out Lush. Bumps Flame Intruder in the process. And Saucy, that's probably the first time he's missed that kind of read all series long. He has been making those routinely. And finally, a little bit too much pressure on the line for Saucy. And he cannot connect. And maybe another kickoff goal coming through for Pharaoh. And Whiteout is running away with game 3. And we might just have ourselves a series here, Pogles.
Yeah, huge kickoff goal. That's going to mean everything in this game. And well, I'm not going to say impossible, but it's very unlikely that Vortex are going to come back in this game. But we do need to look to them to get at least one as they get a double demo, open up some room for them. But yeah, looking to maybe get in the mental a little bit, start whipping out some demos. As Vortex, they're going to try and get at least one. Have it for the next game.
No.
This is the post, but it doesn't matter if Flame Intruder's there anyways. And they get one here.
I mean, I guess this kind of feels okay if you're Vortex, like, yay, we scored, we didn't get shut out, but, I mean, at that point, Whiteout just doesn't care. Like, unless you pull off 3 goals in 20 seconds, that probably doesn't mean too much, but that would have been a heartbreaker if that didn't find the back of the net. That would have tilted you even more than just ending in a shutout, so... I mean, 15 seconds left to go. This probably does mean game over as kickoff doesn't go straight to the Whiteout net. But as you pointed out, going into this game, absolutely 5-head Puggles. Whiteout went to the demo strategies, and pretty much all their goals came off of bumps. I mean, he had 2 kickoff goals, but the bumps were what really mattered in a lot of these goals. But Pharaoh, he may not have been MVP that match, but Pharaoh ran that lobby.
Absolutely. Setting up his teammate, getting credit for at least 3 of the goals. And now we look to Vortex. They lost this one game. They still have another 2 to lose. And, well, not that they want to lose, I'm sure, but yeah, they still got a little bit of a buffer, but obviously closing it down in 4 is much better than having it go to 5.
Yeah, and I mean, as we saw, Chimeras lost their match in 5. So if you can win yours in 4 against the Whiteout team that... I mean, most people consider Whiteout to be a pretty good team. I mean, regardless of where they finished the season, they got Pharaoh towards the end of the season. This is a team that's peaking at the right time. If you just beat them 3-1, Chimeras are shaking in their boots right now because they couldn't even get it done in Game 5. So right now, Vortex needs to win this game. You cannot let this get to 5 because then you're like, oh my gosh, we are about to get reverse swept out of the postseason, and that is too much to have on your mind going into next season. That's like, dude, that's a heartbreaker to finish out a season. So I want to see an early goal for Vortex here, get back on the same trajectory they were in the first 2 games with a lot of early pressure. We'll see where they can get it going.
Yeah, so far it looks to be true as they have the offensive pressure so far. As Lush high up in the air, his third man, able to get 1 touch but not able to follow it. It's Flame Intruder, 50s Pharaoh, but Pharaoh goes straight through him. Saucy throws it down to Lush.
Oh no.
Throws it out mid and quick snail. A not so great miss there as the third one as Whiteout quickly hurry back, but Larry's able to clean it up. Tries to get it by Flame Intruder, but not quite able to do that. It's Flame Intruder and Saucy. They do a little passing into the corner. Saucy takes it up the wall, gets bumped off of it. Huge bump and a huge 50 there from Lush. Able to save it away. It's Larry, he's going to stay on this ball, be an absolute menace, but it doesn't matter if Saucy can get it out, but Quick Snail able to throw it back into this vortex side.
Saucy? Oh my.
Saucy looking for a huge read. And we're a minute in, and so far the ball has been just kind of sitting in the midfield.
Yeah, you're right. If Saucy hits that, I mean, chalk it up. Go home. He just peaked on you out of the postseason. That is pain. But you're right. This is a midfield battle. And right now, neither team is really showing that they're going to dominate it going forward because it's a lot of 50s. I mean, even when Quick Snail had that huge whiff, nobody was ready for it. So it didn't even result in an advantage for Vortex. It's like, oh, he whiffed. Well, we're all on our side of the field waiting to play the bang, and it just didn't come. So Pharaoh looking to get mechanical here with the reset fix out too, but nobody there to clean it up. And that was a huge opportunity. Flame Intruder's panicking, but he does get out by himself. Good nerves from Flame Intruder, and we stay scoreless.
Flame Intruder looks to center it, but Pharaoh able to save it away. And like you said, Flame Intruder, I could see the panic in his eyes when he threw it off the cross or off the post. But Saucy looking to pass it over to Lush. Blairy, huge connection onto Lush, hits him off the ball, and even more as Flame Intruder, a huge shot, but that demo attempt could have proven catastrophic or terrible for this whiteout team as Saucy throws it off the backboard and Pharaoh's able to clean it up once again. And the offense from Vortex not looking the same as they haven't been able to find what they've had. This Flame Intruder throws it in the corner. Quick Snail able to stick with it. Larry is there. It's an open net and a big beat.
I mean, right now it looks like Vortex is trying to take whiteout strategy from last game. It to get super aggressive with demos, and it's still not resulting in goals. The dodging of these bumps has been so crucial. This is pretty much, if any of those bumps connected so far, it's a goal, and Vortex is probably up like 5-1 right now. But I mean, just basic Rocket League coming through for whiteout, a good pass mid, and Larry, he's going to hit that every single time if you give him the opportunity. And the pressure is starting to mount here. Whiteout, they're looking a lot more comfortable than they have in this series. It's getting awkward for this third man a lot more often, but Flame Intruder has been that guy to step up and make these clears, and that one is just an awkward situation from the defense. Nobody knew what to do, and it just results in Flame Intruder kind of hitting it away to Pharaoh. Or to Larry.
Yeah, not a great, not a perfect touch there, as we would say, but it looks like these Vortex players are getting a little bit too bunched up together, as that one's gonna capitalize off of that mistake. But Larry, it was able to read it, and props to him. So he had a great net to shoot on as well as Pharaoh. He's doing it again, another 1v1 clinic out here, but not able to set up Quick Snail for the finish. This Quick Snail is gonna miss that one, a dangerous position. It's an
no.
It might just roll in, and it does. Vortex is back within one.
I hate to keep dogging on Quick Snail, dude, but that whiff did result in a goal for Vortex. The first time he got away with it, but right there, that is a crucial mistake that is completely avoidable. And if you're whiteout, you got to get Quick Snail's head in the game because you know he's tilted from that one. You gotta get his chin up because that one was straight off of a whiff. Nothing more to say about it. But right now, open net if Larry can cash in. But what a save from Saucy! He's so quick to every one of these reads, and had a very important one right there to keep it at that 1-goal game.
A big miss, honestly, from Larry not capitalizing. But Vortex, they're still within one, and a minute left here as Larry is looking to put that up to 2. But Lush able to meet him, kind of in the midfield once again. Quick Snail, he beats one. He's going to pass it back to Pharaoh, but Pharaoh's not going to go for it. A huge fake. as Lush wasn't ready for it. Flame Intruder trying to send it middle. But Larry off screen able to do a huge demo onto Saucy, take out that third man as Lush sends it mid. But again, once again saved by Larry. Flame Intruder sends it off the base, and Lush is able to capitalize. Tied at 2.
What just happened here? Larry and Pharaoh both on the sidewall. Quick Snail thought one of them had it and just rotates back around into net, spins around, and nobody expecting them to have to be the one to get the ball. And they all just let it go by in an easy goal. So Vortex, they're just capitalizing off of given goals right now. They're not having to work too hard for these. So what happens when Vortex starts doing it themselves? Like right there, it is saved away. Larry, if he can get this downfield to relieve some of the pressure, Whiteout can breathe, because right now, Vortex is starting to peak a little bit at the right time.
Yeah, they're starting to put on the pressure. It's a big double demo from Saucy and Larry. Managed to trade each other out, but Larry spawns right behind the ball. Flame Intruder not phased, sends it up to the corner, but the ball going off the corner is going to be dangerous. Quicksnail is there, able to get saved away, but nobody from Whiteout ready. And both of them, they're sitting on the back end waiting for a huge clear, and honestly, I would want to see at least one of them go for that.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I mean, Quicksnail, he had the shot there. I think that was on target, but it was barely saved away from a diving save. Oh, no, whiff comes through. Larry is going to send this downfield. If he can find the double, they win game 4. Puts it off the back foot for Quicksnail, and he slots it bottom left. And what a clutch finish for Whiteout. We are going to Champions Field here, Puggles.
Yeah, Larry, a huge double and Quicksnail able to put it away as Lush not able to reach it. And you said it, we're going to Champions Field, the reverse sweep. It's in sight, we got the picture of it. And it's all being brought off the back of that man, Larry, getting 2 goals, 1 assist, 100% save, goal participation. And he's looking dangerous now. It looks like he's finally waking up.
Yeah, and, you know, ping issues be damned. They don't care. They're just getting used to it. I mean, I guess after playing 4 games with high ping, you kind of like, okay, I got to know what I can and can't go for. And it looks like they've mastered that pretty well. And Pharaoh, his ping has calmed down. And Pharaoh, he didn't even have to do a crazy amount that game. He took over in game 3. Game 4 was Larry and Quicksnail. After a huge whiff from Quicksnail resulted in the goal for Vortex, he bounces back and slots it right by Lush in overtime. It is a kickoff goal, so how much does it really mean in, you know, saying who's the better team? Because, 3 kickoff goals now for Whiteout that have all been important kickoff goals. I want to see them hard earn this game 5. I want them to prove that they are actually a threat going on later down the postseason run. Because right now, you know, they're kind of having some luck go their way. But, I mean, at the end of the day, if you win, you really don't care. And everything is on the line here in game 5. Who is going home? Who is looking forward to Season 8 a little bit earlier than they'd like to? And who will be playing Chimeras for a spot in the playoffs?
And that is the important question as we look to see which of these teams will respond to the call. It's a huge kickoff, could determine the precedent that is set here as Quicksnail is going to beat out his guy. And Larry able to find a quick shot, but Lush able to save it away, gets it past Pharaoh as well. And a huge demo from Larry, going to take out Flame Intruder, and Flame Intruder spawning on the other side of the ball on the field, able to rush back, and now all 3 of the Vortex players in the same spot. Vortex needs to get a huge clear out as Saucy is going to send it down, and he's going to stick with it. But he's able to get beat out as Quicksnail. That might just go a huge save from Flame Intruder, able to clean it up as Pharaoh just trying to work the corner as Lush is there to take it away from him. Another double commit from Vortex. You can see they're nervous as Quicksnail is going to try and work it, but these double commits from Vortex, I said them at the beginning of the series, they went away a little bit, but it looks like they're back once again.
Yeah, and Quicksnail with a breakaway, maybe another 1v1 situation that Whiteout can score off of, but not that time, and now it's the other way around. Larry making the save to keep it at a deadlock 0-0, but you're right. If those double commits do end up being the fault of Vortex, and if it's the reason they dropped the series, that is the worst way to drop a series. Having, you know, team play mistakes at this point of the season, you hate to see that. But their corner reads are so clutch right now. That's what's keeping the ball out of their net. Is Larry is the one keeping out of the net right now for Whiteout, but Larry's not back this time. Who's gonna get it done? It's a 2-in a two-man project there as they're just assaulting the Whiteout net right now, Puggles. And hopefully a breakaway can mean a goal for Whiteout as Larry, the huge flick. But it's finally Whiteout out of their defensive half.
As Flame Intruder now getting Vortex out of theirs, as Saucy's going to clean up, throw it off the backboard, but Larry's able to meet it. As he sends out mid for Pharaoh, and Pharaoh able to work it all the way down the field, trying to get it by Flame Intruder, who's awkward. Might have gotten clipped a little bit, but able to recover as Lush in the net sends it off the sidewall. Larry, dangerous. In. Nobody from Vortex ready, and Larry strikes first.
POV, you're Larry and Lush is not on the backboard. Well, I guess I'll just shoot it. Because Lush is always the guy to make the clear, but Lush is the one that cleared it right to the waiting arms of Larry. And that's just an easy goal for him. Larry's not going to miss that shot, ping and all. He's going to slot that top right and wide out. If they can avoid a kickoff goal here, or maybe get one of their own, they're looking good in this Game 5.
I don't agree more. As Flame Intruder, he's up in the air, trying to get a flip reset, not able to connect. But he did beat out one as Pharaoh flips at Lush. He's nervous, and you can tell.
Lush, he's been the defensive mastermind all series, and back-to-back errors on his part do result in goals. Puts Snail with an easy finish, and the reverse sweep, I mean, who cares at this point? You got to come back from 2 goals, you got to do a little reverse sweep in this Game 5 yourself, and the whiffs are coming through, and Pharaoh's going to slot it away. Everybody's getting a piece of the pie. Whiteout is peaking at the right time. Finally, somebody is looking like the better team.
Somebody is looking like the better team, and Vortex, this game is slipping from them. They still have half of the game to go. There's definitely more than enough time for them to come back into it, but it's going to have to start sooner rather than later. As Saucy, he's going to try and get started here now. As he throws it into the corner, but not able to beat out one, as Larry just has to beat Saucy, a huge 50 out mid. Pharaoh's already up. But no, Quicksail is there. A slow shot, throwing him off. And now Lush able to stand big along with Vortex in the net. A huge defensive stand. But now Larry's back up, throwing it off the corner. Flame Intruder able to send it out of harm's way and follow it all the way down. Gets a huge Lush, not quite ready for it. As Pharaoh's already up in the air. But Lush not able to get the touch that he needed. Not enough boost. As Larry gets a huge demo. And he gets a big 50. He gets 2 big 50s. He's just massive right now on the pitch. But Pharaoh is going to clean it up. And Flame Intruder. And the Flame Intruder and this Vortex roster needs to find a goal. Because they've been struggling to find one ever since Game 3. And it comes down to this minute and a half. What do we need to see Vortex do?
We need to see Lush have not 88 points and Saucy not have 42. Flame Intruder is closing in on 500, while neither one of his teammates have broken 100, and he's going to break 600 here as Flame Intruder is just dragging his team across the finish line, but they still need a little bit more in this race as finally a defensive error comes through. Whiteout overcommits. That's usually their fault at how they get scored on, and they do it again. So Vortex showing some life. Maybe they can bring this game back.
Yeah, Saucy tries to look for a huge kickoff goal, but unfortunately that's not going to come as Lush not able to get touches. Larry sends it out. Pharaoh able to pounce on it, and the 3-goal lead goes back up.
You really have to feel for Lush, dude. You don't know how much boost Larry has. You have to assume he has the shot. I mean, Larry always has the shot. How can you assume that he's not going to have it? And that time he just didn't have the boost, and Lush got caught lacking, and another goal will just cancel out Vortex's only goal in this game. And Flame Intruder, he's trying to do something, but every time he clears it downfield, seems like Pharaoh or Larry is just waiting to clear it back the other way. And it's just a panic with 50 seconds left to go in their season right now. What can they do?
Lush, he's able to find an angle, and they're back within 2. It's do or die now for Vortex.
Yeah, and a good pinch from Flame Intruder on the 50 on the left side of the field goes right to Lush, who's rotating back. It's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll turn and put this where you can't save it. So this series is very much still looking at potentially going to overtime. If Vortex can get another goal like that with very little time coming off the clock, this is still possible right now. Whitehouse is playing the time game.
Yeah, Whiteout looking for those big clears as Lush sends it off the sidewall. Larry, not a great touch.
No.
As Flame Shooter already up, it might just roll straight down in front of the net, but it looks like almost a triple commit there as Lush has pretty much a free ball. Just has to beat one. Saucy off the ceiling. Can he follow it? Larry able to stand big in the net. 15 seconds remaining. Lush, the opportunity of a lifetime, not able to put it away. And that might have just did it for their season. 5 seconds remaining. There's no shot in sight. And Whiteout, they're going to move on to play Chimeras.
I never had a doubt. You know, when I predicted 3-2 Whiteout, I knew it was going to be a full reverse sweep. The script was on my right monitor, and I never had a doubt, okay? And, I mean, shout out to Vortex real quick, because that team, that does not feel like a team that should be going out of the play-in tournament this early. They were so capable of running the game in games 1 and 2, but I don't know. Whiteout just flipped a switch. Pharaoh, it took him about one game to get warmed up, but once he did, who cares about the ping? You're starting roster in, and you're feeling confident in your teammates. I mean, who's gonna stop you? Whiteout, they take it, and I mean, you got to give a shout out to Larry. Larry was the guy. We always knew he had to be, and it seems like every time they needed a save, Larry was the guy. And wow, what a series from Whiteout and Vortex. But Whiteout will be moving on to play Chimeras for a spot to hopefully take down the number 1 team in the playoffs. And Hydra, one of those teams will be the team to take on Hydra. We'll have to see who it is, but for now, Whiteout, they're on top of the world.
Yeah, on top of the world indeed, as they managed to get that reverse sweep. And now we're gonna send it to a quick break as we very quickly hop into the next series. And all that being said, make sure to go check out the merch shop. It's great stuff. Do buy it. I need money. So yeah, have a quick break, and we'll see you right back.
started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. Falling.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Nemesis Gaming League, where you guessed it, grind continues. We are back for our 4th match of the night. Going down to the Novice League, we've got Acceleration going up against Ignite. Your boy Psychonautic back in the booth, ready to bring you back to this action. And I'm joined by the director himself, GM of Evolution, Rocker Man. How you doing tonight? Hopefully, there's a lot on the line here for both of these teams. The winner of this team is going to move on to compete against Diffusion on Saturday, and the winner of that match secures the eighth seed in the playoffs, and they'll be going up against the number 1 seed Pawns. But the loser goes home, and their season ends here tonight, Rocker Man. So neither of these teams want to be walking home with their heads hanging.
Yeah, I want to apologize. I actually had my mic muted when I tried to talk about the hyping up this match. So my bad. That's what happens when you're streaming and casting at the same time. So apologies about that. But Psycho, as you said before, trying to introduce me, I'm excited for this matchup. We just had a crazy reverse sweep attempt by Whiteout. Shout out to Lucian Vortex. I know a lot of people in the chat were rooting for them to win, but Vortex couldn't quite get it done. A Whiteout, they clutched up, so shout out to them. And I'm hoping this one here, Psycho, Ignite has been on an insane run, winning their last 6 matches. I mean, we saw the reverse sweep on stream against Frost. I mean, that was an insane one, and we knew that Ignite had to win it and win its way out to make it in the play-ins, and they did at the 10 seed. And Psycho, they were my underdog pick in my article that I made about a play-in team that they can make a great run. And Psycho, in my bracket prediction, I predicted these guys to make it all the way to the grand finals, so they better not let me down here tonight. I'm going with Ignite in this one, and I'm hoping that they can pull it off here and take down Acceleration.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, that sounds really good. That sounds like you got it all figured out, to be honest with you, Rocker Man. We'll have to see if Ignite can hold up to your hopes and dreams, if they can make your bracket predictions come true, or is Acceleration gonna come from behind and smash those dreams? And honestly, Acceleration, I think this might be the first time that they've made it into the play-ins. Usually Acceleration goes straight to the playoffs.
Yeah, Acceleration, they're a 2-time champion in the Novice League way back in Season 3 and Season 4. When the Novice League first started and first came a thing in Nemesis, they were perennial championship contender. I haven't had quite the same success the last couple seasons, but I know these guys got a lot of great players on their team with RU Fluffy, who was formerly on Genesis, so I got some recognition with him, and then One Pop Shop and Fushiguro. I mean, they have been popping off as well, and Acceleration, I picked Ignite to go all the way, but if there was another team, Psycho, that I was predicting to make an underdog run, it was definitely Acceleration. Is Charles, the new caster, making his way to the pitch, can't quite knock that one in, but, Acceleration, they are a great team as well. If Ignite doesn't make its way out of this one, I expect Acceleration to make a good run on that side of the bracket as well.
Yeah, and they probably will. They're known to make a good run in this playoff play-in scenario, so hopefully if they make it here past Ignite, they will do just that. But I gotta say, Ignite already looking pretty good, already looking a little bit more aggressive than Acceleration. We'll see if that pays off for them, as is Charles gonna leave the ball out of the corner. Vita there with it, gets a touch out to the mid. Rooney there, but he can't get the shot on target. Does get a demo on Fushiguro. Is Charles, puts it towards the mid. Vita's there, but he can't find the touch. Rooney can't get the touch either defensively, and this could be dangerous for Ignite as the ball's out in the mid. One pop shot, gonna just pop that sucker in.
This one, just a huge counterattack, left the last man back, and Fushiguro sends it up in the middle. Rooney trying to pre-flip at it, trying to get out of that, but One Pop Shop, they have been a shooter. Rooney may lead that team there, but Actually, excuse me, Rooney's on the other team, but One Pop Shop has definitely been the leader of his team, and made a good shot there, and it gave him an early lead, which is exactly what you want to see in the play-in tournament. Is Ignite's coming right back. Eleanor Vita RL putting it in to tie things up.
Good play from Ignite there. Rooney taking it slow, getting a good flick over one of the defenders, but not able to get it in as two of the defenders pushed that out, but they did double commit, and it resulted in Vita coming in with the cleanup shot, gets the goal, ties us up at 3 minutes and 22 seconds left on the clock as we have a tied ball game here in game number 1 of this best of 5 series. Charles coming off the side, getting control, flicking it out to the mid. Nobody from his team there to catch the pass. Are you Fluffy going to take control of it? Gets it past one in the mid, but the defense takes it away from him. One Pop Shop missing his touch. Are you Fluffy missing his touch? 3 misses coming out. We got a novice moment on our hands, but is Charles makes something out of nothing, turns that around. The defense was nowhere.
And it's like another reason I'm rooting for this Ignite team is Charles here, the new caster in the booth. I mean, he stepped up and made a huge impact for our casting team at the end of the season. I love listening to him in the pitch or in the booth, and love seeing him on the pitch as he's put on a good performance so far. But this one is not going to go in his favor as One Pop Shop again striking through, giving Acceleration the lead right back.
Straight off the kickoff, One Pop Shot not done popping off. He's going to tie us back up. 2 is the scoreline now with 2 minutes and 48 seconds left on the clock. Acceleration versus Ignite. Game number 1. This is already turning out to be quite the heated series. Vita trying to follow the ball. One Pop Shot going to 50 with him. Rooney going to get beat out by Figaro in the midfield. Is Charles throws it down, trying to get it out of Ignite's defensive zone. Rooney getting a touch, putting it back in the mid towards his net. Dangerous play there. He's able to stick with it. Looking for the pinch, can't get it. Is Charles trying to help him out, but Acceleration taking it away from him. Vita with the pop, almost gets it over. Fluffy makes the stop out of the corner. 2 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock now as Ignite mounts more and more offensive pressure, Rocker Man. But I don't know if I can't tell if Ignite has the advantage here. They certainly do in the shot department, but it seems like Acceleration's not giving up as much ground as they did in the first half of this game.
I feel like Acceleration, they've been able to capitalize like well on those couple mistakes that Ignite made, and you know that's really great to see out of the Novice League when you're capitalizing on mistakes like this one could be here. Rooney has to race back on the goal line just enough to get it, but I mean, for the most part, Acceleration has capitalized on almost every mistake that Ignite has made, and that is a great sign for them in this series, and at least in this game. But yeah, I think it's really close right now. The scoreboard also agrees with us there, Psycho. So really, next minute 20 here or so, I mean, it's going to be all about the next goal. I think next goal will win it, and both these teams are going to be fighting hard for it. Oh my goodness, Rudy, what is that?
Huge pinch coming off the sidewall. Rudy, known to be mechanical, known to get some touches that are just out of most novices' reach. He gets the second touch, the redirect. That was a clip of clips down here in the Novice League, Rocker Man.
Oh my goodness, that would be a clip of clips in Titan League. What was that? How did he just score that, Rudy? An absolute legend. And here comes Charles to put another one in. And oh my goodness, what a table, a turntable here as Ignite up 4-2. My goodness, Psycho.
Yeah, Ignite starting to snowball at this point. And you can see in the chat, they're absolutely getting hype for them over themselves right now. In the final 60 seconds, they were able to take, or not even the final 60 seconds, within like, I want to say 10 seconds, they were able to gain a 2-point lead entering into this final 60 seconds of game number 1. And now they fully control the pace here, Rocker Man.
Psycho, and when someone hits a shot on you like that, here comes another one. Eleanor Vita just poured it on. I was going to say, when someone hits a shot like that on you, Psycho, I mean, that's just so demoralizing. I mean, it was such a good shot. Rooney even boosted a little bit, so you knew it wasn't luck. And he was trying to shoot that one on net, and I mean, easily the best shot of his career, I'm sure. And doing it on stream in the play-ins here with their playoff hopes on the line. I mean, whoever wins this game survives a Saturday night, and whoever loses is going home. Their postseason run is over. So, I mean, just huge momentum here for Ignite starting this one off. And with the final 30 seconds, looks like with some last-second shenanigans go on, they should be able to hold this one out.
Yeah, and you pointed out, that might have been the best shot of his career. Oh, one pop shot, not done yet. Comes through the defense and gets a third goal for Acceleration. 21 seconds left on the clock. Definitely possible for Acceleration to come back, but they're going to need a quick goal.
Yeah, they need someone else maybe to step up, or one pop shot, throw a couple more in 20 seconds. It's doable, but they need it one quick off the kickoff.
This is in their favor. Fushiguro going to miss his touch, which might have been the end all for game number 1 here. One pop shot, popping it up in the midfield. He's there with it. He gets another touch. It's towards the mid. Fushiguro can't get the ball, but he does get the demo. Possibly Acceleration looking to get one more, but the ball gets sent out. Ignite going to be your winners here in game number 1.
I mean, Ignite, an impressive performance. We knew that, they were probably the favorite. I mean, a lot of people in chat were picking them. In the Discord, they were picking them. The odds were picking them. So, I mean, a lot of hype on Ignite, but I'm impressed with what Acceleration is able to do. It seemed like they were able to hang for 4 minutes in that game. It just came down to Rooney hitting that insane shot, and from there it just kind of snowballed. But one pop shot put in 3 goals. Need to see a little more from Fluffy and Fushiguro here, but all in all, a great first game here in the Novice League, and I'm curious to see if Acceleration is going to bounce back in game 2.
Yeah, I think that they will. It's hard to really pinpoint what happened there. Acceleration was doing so well. They actually came back from a 1-point deficit, or 2 times they came back from a 1-point deficit to tie it up. And then, like you said, Rooney just getting that. Oh my goodness. I'm having a novice moment.
Oh.
I'm having a novice moment. I'm sorry. But I was thinking about Rooney's shot, and I can't see straight right now. I'm hoping we get another one here. That was such a good shot. But like you said, it's sort of oh my goodness.
Well,
what are we doing?
Well, they're scoring, it looks like, and that is a kickoff goal right off the bat. And Acceleration, you got to be careful here. You got to be careful. That was 2 seconds in. I think it's tied for the quickest goal we've had in Nemesis history, so congratulations. I think there's been a lot of quick 2-second goals like that, but impressive nonetheless here for Ignite, and if they can keep it rolling, it could be deadly shots trying to come back from Acceleration.
Now, I hope that kickoff goal wasn't because I joined, because I know sometimes when you join and leave, it can mess up the kickoff.
No, it looked good.
Okay, perfect. I was going to feel really bad there, so I'm glad that didn't happen. Oh, man, novice moment. You Rocker Man, you can take the psycho out of the novice, but you can't take novice out of the psycho.
That's true.
So.
It never really leaves you. You can never really escape. It's like the prospect meme, but, there's always some novice hanging around, so you got to, I understand.
100%. And I hope everybody else does at home. We are fully into this. 4 minutes and 10 seconds left on the clock now. Ignite up by 1, looking a lot like they were in game number 1. Let's see if Acceleration can do like they were doing and able to bring this back to a tie ball game, or is Ignite going to snowball this early in game number 2 as the miss comes out from Acceleration on the clear. Rooney's up looking to follow, but one pop shot up there as well. Gonna hit the ball away from Mvita. Trying to keep the pressure alive for Ignite. Rooney there as well. One pop shot. Awkward on the backboard. Is Charles looking for a touch? But Fushiguro coming through. Sending that ball all the way across into his corner. Fushiguro sticking with it off of the top of Vita. Are you Fluffy with the big touch out to the mid? One pop shots there. Puts one on net, but Is Charles makes the save. Fushiguro trying to keep it alive. Acceleration trying to pick up the pieces and get some offensive pressure going here. And they certainly need it. They finally going to find the back of the net. Are you Fluffy getting the first goal for Acceleration?
This is a huge one. Acceleration really needing this game, and for their sake, hoping they get this game. I was going to mention it off the get-go, Psycho, but Is Charles, before he was casting his first match, way back in our first match of the night, around 7 Eastern, he was saying that they were playing for 2 hours straight to warm up. and that was before that was before he even cast it. So Psycho, they've been playing a lot of Rocket League, which I was going to be concerned about here for Ignite, and if you play so much Rocket League, eventually you get fatigued out. So far, it seems okay, but I think for Acceleration, that can be key if they can keep the pressure on and keep the series extended for a while. In this one, I think they may be able to outlast Ignite just from that fact alone.
Yeah, and I mean the 2 hours of training, they ended that with a scrim against me and a couple of the ninjas, and they did pretty good. But I think that they had more of that fatigue that you were talking about. I didn't realize they had been playing for 2 hours previous to that, but it kind of makes sense based on the performance that I saw. But that scrim, I would say, from what I'm seeing right here, definitely helped get Ignite ready for this Acceleration team, because they're playing a lot better than they were in that scrim. So we'll have to see if that is going to pay off for him. Charles looking dangerous there in front of his net, but he gets the touch. It goes up, and Acceleration not able to find the back of the net again, though. They are not relinquishing their offensive pressure. Charles off the sidewall, gonna leave it. Are You Fluffy gets a touch. Fushiguro going in a little bit too early, but he's able to make something work with it. He's up. He gets another touch, but Vita takes it away from him. One pop shot. Sticking with it is Charles. Takes it away. Rooney putting one on net. Fushiguro back to make the stop. 1:22 seconds left on the clock. We're still tied at 1 here, Rocker Man, and I can't tell if either of these teams have a clear advantage. The scoreboard is making me feel like Acceleration is actually controlling the pace.
I'm scared right here, Psycho. As last time you threw it to me at 120, we saw Rooney hit that insane read. But we'll see here. It's really even, and Acceleration, despite the score being even, I think they've had the pressure here in the last couple of minutes. I mean, just this ball has not seemed to leave the Ignite half, and now, as I say, that it finally does. So we'll see if Acceleration can hold on, tie this series up, but they definitely have some momentum working their way right now.
And they only have to play smart here, as a big pass play coming out, but Vita making it back in time, making the save on the goal line for Ignite, keeping the score line at 1. Fushiguro coming in and missing the touch right there, and Ignite gonna clear his own teammate. Rudy just clears out his teammate. That almost turned into a conversion for Acceleration there, but luckily for Ignite, it did not. And Vita now looking for a shot. It's gonna hit the post. Oh my goodness, Charles puts it up. It bounces off of Fluffy. That was dangerous, but Fluffy sustains pressure and keeps possession. And he's trying to stick with it. Vita to take it away from him. Nobody back, and oh my goodness. Oh.
That one hurts there, Psycho. Are You Fluffy trying to get out to his teammate, and the third man on the far left side of the field just leaving their net open, and now 1 second. Do they have a miracle? I don't know.
Do they? It's gonna take a miracle. Oh, it didn't go in their favor. They have to keep it up, and that's not looking good. And Ignite taking game number 2 off of Acceleration, now sitting at match point, looking for the sweep.
Yeah, I mean, Ignite, they clutch up there at the end, but Acceleration, you have to feel bad for him, Psycho. I mean, that was a game that they're going to tell you they should have won. I mean, they weren't winning at the very end, but they had it tied up, and it was surely going to head into overtime, but they triple commit, and that one just heartbreaking for Acceleration, as that is not the way you want it to go down. And now, Psycho, will we see the second reverse sweep of the night? Acceleration, they have got to try to pull some sort of miracle out here to bring it back. But I mean, Psycho, if there is, a time when you're getting a reverse sweep, it's when these games are so close. These last couple of games, the first game was close until the very end, ended up a 2-goal margin, but this one was tied all the way down until pretty much the very end. So, when you get into these situations, I think this is, one of those times where a reverse sweep is definitely possible with the way Acceleration has been playing.
Yeah, if Acceleration's able to keep Rooney off the ball and not give him space to get mechanical, not give him space to get one of those pinch shots from wherever that came from, then I definitely think that they have a shot at this. As we saw there in game number 2, Rooney wasn't really at the top of the pack. He really wasn't that loud throughout that match. He was pretty quiet, and Acceleration, kept up close to him because of it. So we'll have to see here I think it's going to not necessarily depend on Rooney, but I think how hard Ignite snowballs is gonna depend on if Rooney pops it.
Definitely. I mean, Rooney, he's the leading goal scorer for this Ignite team, and he is definitely a scary man. And, you know, when it comes down to it here, this game 3, Ignite, they want this sweep. They want to prove to everyone that their, you know, last couple of matches it meant something here and keep their postseason hopes alive. And they're hoping to send Acceleration packing. Acceleration, they've got to be feeling the nerves here, Psycho. I know if I were them, I would. You have to reverse sweep to stay alive in the postseason. The pressure is most definitely on, as this one is also on their net, but saved away. And Acceleration, they need to score first, Psycho. I want to see them score and get some momentum going their way.
Yeah, they do need that. And, you know, they do have a lot of pressure on their plates right now, or on their shoulders right now, and they have not started this game off in the first 60 seconds the way you want to start a game that is this important. So we'll have to see if they're able to pull back from that. There's been quite a few mistakes that, luckily for them, they haven't Ignite hasn't capitalized on, but we'll see how that plays out for them in the future. Fushiguro putting it up, but Vita gets a flip reset and is able to get it past the offender there. Are You Fluffy taking control, trying to get the fake, but Vita taking it away from him, gets a huge bang off the top of his car. One pop shot, not going to allow him to get a shot on net. One pop, following it up into the corner, but Charles to take it away from him. Charles is just going to fake out Fushiguro, but he gets bumped off the ball. Good bump from Acceleration. Are You Fluffy trying to beat 2 of Ignite's players? Not going to get him beat. The ball has been going back and forth. This Charles might have something here. He gets the block on Fushiguro, but the ball's not going to go into the net. And we are now 2 minutes down here, Rocker Man. A 0-0 score so far. Not a lot going on, but almost some big things happening.
I got a little bit scared there for Acceleration after that miss. But they're really trying here as the net almost open. It's going to be a miss. As Charles might have the opportunity to follow, but it's blocked back down. It's still dangerous. Rudy is trying to come in, but Acceleration, they are holding on here. They're panicking a little bit, double committing even as Ignite is trying to put the pressure on. But I need to see one pop shop. He was the carry in the game 1. He's pretty much been that guy all season. I want to see him get on the board here. And, you know, they've survived 3 minutes, but they have to be the ones to score first. You cannot let Ignite, you know, get that pressure on you and put you minutes away from elimination.
Yeah, that would be a heartbreaking thing to have to endure. And there you have it. One pop shop and Acceleration. Ask and you shall. Well, you wrote the script. You know what's happening.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes it just happens just like you write it down, Psycho. And that one, Acceleration, scoring first. One pop shop, scoring first. You know, that is just perfect, just like you want to see it. And if they can keep this up, they need to pad this lead if possible, but, you know, the first goal, it's got to give them a lot of hopes here to try to keep this one going. We'll see if they can find another one to add to their total.
Yes, sir. The first goal and the first step towards on their road to reverse sweeping Ignite here. Unless, in the last 1 minute and 40 seconds, Ignite is able to score at least one goal to force the OT, possibly take the win in sweeping fashion away from Acceleration, knock them out of this play-in playoff scenario, send them packing. Or will Acceleration stay alive? Rooney trying to get a touch on the ball, trying to keep the pressure up for Ignite. Vita, the touch out of the corner, one pop shot to take it away from him. And Ignite, 2 of Ignite's players are there. Charles trying to get in front of that ball, get the stop in front of the net, but he can't find it. Rooney gets bumped off of the ball, can't follow it. Fushiguro's there. He's looking like he gets a dribble past one. Can't do much else beyond that. Charles was waited for it. Are You Fluffy came in with a huge shot, had an open net, but hit the post instead. 45 seconds left now on the clock. Acceleration only has to play smart at this point as they are leading by 1. Rooney missing his touch. Fushiguro can't get it through the defense. One pop shot not done, but it gets taken away from him. 30 seconds now, and Acceleration not letting up one bit, Rocker Man.
No, they're holding on, but oh no, Charles has an open net on the counter. He's trying to pitch it in. It's on the goal line. It's going to go in. Rooney puts it home, and heartbreak so many chances for acceleration to add a second goal, and they get counterattacked on. Just pain all around as they're so close. But Rooney, he shuts them down, and oh my goodness, that is heartbreaking. But still 19 seconds. They're still tied, Psycho. They just need one. But oh, that one hurts a little bit here. But they can't think about that. They have to regain and get right back to their pressure here and see if they can win it in regulation.
They have to regain in the final 10 seconds. They can't let Ignite score. As Rooney takes it out of his own corner. Rooney putting all of his boost into it, but the ball gets sent away from him. Charles gonna let that one touch. So he's gonna let this go into an overtime in game number 3 here, Rocker Man. And this is tense.
This is tense. The postseason hopes on the line is, oh my goodness, one pop shot. Be careful here. It's going back towards his net. But they're going to make a touch. But Rooney looking for the dagger. It's going to go in. Rooney ends the season of acceleration, and Ignite will sweep their way to Saturday night.
Pull out your brooms, ladies and gentlemen. Ignite getting the sweep on acceleration, sending them home, ending their season. And now Ignite's going to move forward. Saturday night, they're going to be playing against the Fusion for the 8th seed in the playoff tournament. Congratulations to Ignite on the big dub there. They definitely deserve it. They played out of their mind.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, an impressive performance. It looks like we'll probably get an interview here, but I mean, impressive performance from Ignite. They really did make a huge performance there, Psycho, and I mean, I just feel so bad for acceleration. I mean, they were so close there. They're leading with 20 seconds left, Psycho, and then they just overcommit again. It was the end of game 2. It was the end of game 3, and that is a heartbreaking way for your season to end right there. But it happens sometimes, and Ignite, they clutched up where it mattered.
Yeah, they certainly did. And acceleration, hey, hats off to them. They came out, they played hard, they played their hearts out. They did really good. Ignite just did a little bit better. Ignite just came, with more fire. They just wanted it more, and they got it. And I don't know if we can date that. I don't know if we can. Maybe this went all the way back to that Rooney shot, Rocker Man. Maybe that shot shook acceleration to its core.
Yeah, maybe it did. I mean, that's one of those ones that turns series around, Psycho, or one way or the other. And I mean, Rooney hit it, and I mean, just an impressive performance. And I think we're gonna get a quick interview going on here. We have Is Charles waiting for us here, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and get him in here. We got Is Charles. He said he wanted to get an interview in here. He said he was gonna stare at the camera. Unfortunately, we don't have his camera up, but I think he has to say something. Is Charles, how are you doing, my guy?
I think personally, I'm doing great, Rocker Man. Thank you for asking. I need everybody to know. I think we should start a Rooney fan page over here. Did you guys see that shot that he hit?
No, we actually
No,
we didn't.
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
Oh,
we
well,
didn't see it.
I was doing laundry back there. I wasn't able to watch it now.
Yeah.
So he basically just I don't even know what that shot was. I guarantee we were freaking out more than everybody else was. It was just absolutely wild. Rooney really showed up, and God, Vita, what a great player. I'm just so glad to have these teammates. Big win today, but just looking forward to winning more. Because that's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it definitely. Sorry, Psycho. I was gonna say definitely.
No, you're good.
I mean, that was just a huge performance. I know a lot of people were picking you guys, and you were telling me before. I brought this up a little bit. You said you guys were playing for 2 hours, but like before you even casted, what was the warm-up routine today, and how do you think that affected you going into the match tonight?
I'm going to be honest. We kind of go into casual and we just talk and play Rocket League. I'm going to be honest. We dropped a lot of games. We actually lost one of the games like 8-2. So, we're not like the best team to look at for like warming up wise, but I guess it just kind of clicked. We had a film session with Smooth right before this. He really helped us with our defensive rotation. So shout out Smooth. But yeah, it just kind of all came together for us. I'm just glad to be a part of Ignite at the moment.
And now you already kind of mentioned this, but I just got to bring it up again. The shot from Rooney, how amazing that shot was. And I know you said that, started a fan club, I have to assume y'all's comms absolutely exploded, but like decibel levels where y'all like, can you hear Can you hear right now? Or because I mean, if I was in there with you, you wouldn't be able to hear right now because I would have swallowed the mic and screamed as loud as I could.
I think my ears are a little damaged, but actually, I didn't see the shot until the replay because I was going back and grabbing boosts. But Vito was flipping out. He was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was just, I look at the replay and I was in shock. I was like, "What just happened?" I mean, just insane. And I just want to put this out there. Rooney was freaking out himself. I don't think he really expected to hit that cracked of a shot.
And so now that y'all have won here, y'all move forward to play against Diffusion on Saturday. And if you're able to win that, you're going to move forward and secure the 8th seed and be playing against the number 1 seeded Pawns. How confident are y'all that you're going to be able to beat Diffusion on Saturday?
Honestly, I'm not really focused on trying to get to Pawns. I'm really just focused on Diffusion. They're a great squad. We beat them in the regular season, but they're definitely a different team. Cool Sox is just an outstanding player along with the rest of his squad. So just really looking forward to have a chance to compete because that's just what this all is all about. Just competing and taking Rocket League to the next level. But I just want to say thank you to everybody who came out and supported us today. It meant a lot, and we'll try to win more games.
Yeah, I don't have anything else psycho for me, but I just want to say, Charles, congratulations. I'm looking forward to you guys being my underdog team. I put you guys all the way. No pressure, but I think you guys can do it. I mean, congratulations on the win, and hopefully we'll see more from you guys going forward.
All right, thank you.
All right, well there you go, Psycho. That is Charles. I mean, what a performance from them tonight. I mean, just outstanding.
Yeah, you love to see the novice league matches that go so well. I was actually just like I said, we were me and a couple of the ninjas were playing against Ignite, and I was talking with the ninjas, and they were saying, hey, you're casting the novice league. Yeah, I said, yeah, and they said, oh, you excited? I said, it's kind of boring sometimes. Oh, really, really? I said, but sometimes novice they pop off. They have amazing games, and that's what Ignite just did here tonight. They just gave us some great content, which just goes to show you don't have to be double, triple, quadruple flip reset and banging musty double touches off the backboard to just bring good, solid Rocket League content for the people. And Ignite definitely showed us that you can do that.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, you got to give them props. I mean, it's been a great play-in tournament so far. We've had a magnitude of game fives, an impressive shot from Rooney in this game. I know he's watching that one back. He's gonna watch that one back a million times. I know if I was him, I'd be watching that shot back over. I'd be posting the clips channel, be posting all over the place because that was absolutely insane. And Ignite, their spirits have got to be high on the win streak, and they've got to be ready for Saturday night, which is exciting. And it's like we still have one more matchup coming tonight, so things aren't even over for the first the first 2 nights of the play-ins.
Yes, we do. We have our final match of the night. Whenever we come back from our break, we'll be going into the Prospect League. We've got the Rooks going up against Velocity, and that is one of the more highly anticipated matches of the night from what I've been hearing around the Discord, Rocker.
Yeah, no, it should be a good one. You got Velocity, the defending champs. There was a lot of hype about the Rooks. I know Bubbly in the chess hall. They bring the viewers. They bring the hype, rooting on their org. So I'm really excited to see how it turns out.
Yeah, I certainly am as well, and I hope everybody in the chat is as well. I appreciate everybody coming out to support us. We're going to be taking a small little break here, probably about 6 or 7 minutes. If you need to use the bathroom, get a refill on that drink, get a refill on that snacks before we come back to the Prospect League. Rockerman, I appreciate you joining me here in the booth. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, sir, Psycho. It was a great match, and looking forward to see what we got next.
Stuck inside my head. Of a major, of a love that died inside. You're a stranger, and there's no point to pretend that you can't heal with me. Erase my memory. I'm a danger, gotta quit while I'm ahead. started to fall, and where were you? How could I know you were falling too? Grabbing the wind, cutting my skin, but it's hard because I'm falling. Tell me why I'm falling. Oh, life's calling, but it's hard because I'm falling. Falling.
Hey, welcome back everybody to our final matchup of the night here on this do or die play-in eliminator match here between the 9th and the 10th seeds we've been having for the whole night. Tonight, on the last one, we got the Prospect League Rooks going off against Velocity here. I'm joined by our fellow Prospect League player himself. It's Speed. How you doing, Speed?
I'm doing well. I'm really excited to watch and cast this prospect game, this prospect match. It's going to be really exciting. I recently just played both of these teams within the last few weeks myself, and they both put up a really big fight. Velocity was actually able to take one game off of us, the only team to do so in the last 6 matches. So they're looking really strong, and Rooks. I believe all 3 games, we swept them, but they were all 1-goal games. So they were holding in their own too. So I believe these teams are pretty evenly matched.
Yeah, I mean, evenly matched they are, as they're both sitting at the 9-9 record there. Acceleration going 3-3 in their last 6. Rooks 4-2 in their last 6, so slight edge to them. And the Rooks beating 2 playoff teams and Bandits and Vipers to make it into this spot. And Velocity, they are the former champions last season. They're not retaining any of the same players from their roster in season 6 there, but still glory on the line to try and go back-to-back. A lot of back-to-backs in the Momentum org there, so perhaps maybe if they could make the run of all lower bracket runs, so to say, to try and break into the play-in tournament, that would be quite the run. But who you got in this one, Speed?
I am gonna have to give this one to Velocity. I think it'll be a really good series, a really close series throughout the whole thing. However, Velocity just seems to have that edge. The only one thing that worries me with this Velocity team is they kind of seem to play to not their full potential all the time. They play to their opponent's skill. So they kind of sometimes struggle with some of these teams that they really should be handling easily, just because they don't seem to get up and be as hyped for every series as they should.
Yeah, I know that feeling all too well. Sometimes our team can play down to a level of our opponents, and that's kind of a tough thing to do, although you can also play up to your opponents at the same time. But we'll have to see how Velocity comes out in this game 1 here. And kind of back to your point, another thing that worries me here, although it has been to their success lately, is that Velocity is going to be playing with Dukes, who was previously their sub, but like you mentioned, Dukes has been performing well as of late, and we'll have to see how he performs in this first matchup to see if Velocity can get their momentum going quick against this Rooks team, who was regarded as the best player in Prospect, but he was traded to your team, Speed. So Rooks, according to Bubbly, who is the GM, is saying that this team is better without Yukio. So what are your thoughts on this Rooks team without their previous star player?
They honestly are a scary team as well. The chemistry that they've built with this roster and throwing in their sub as well. They played with their sub, and their sub has fit in too. And they got Stumpy and Rain, who's their sub, within the last couple of weeks to fill out their roster. And for that quick of a turnaround with the roster, they've really had a lot of good chemistry, and it's kind of been surprising to see how well they've been able to maintain that and finish the season with a 4-2 record in the last 6 games.
Definitely a bit of a turnaround for them, as this one on the counterattack, C-Dubs will find the left side right there.
Yeah, and that's, excellent play right there between the two. You expect to see a lot of things happening between Velocity with JPH and Big C-Dubs. Those two it's a toss-up on who's going to carry the team on any given night between those two. And when they're both on, you can almost say GG's, because they both have the potential to carry single-handedly their team.
Yeah, C-Dub's a former player of mine when I was a GM there for the Graveyard Shift, and he was on Banshees last season and a huge factor on that team. Granted, they didn't make it that far in playoffs, but he was definitely up there in the stats on the saves and the assists for sure. And definitely a player to probably watch out here on the velocity side of things. Meanwhile, for the Rooks, kind of a bit of a team effort for the most part, as a shot almost finding its way in there is Kenneman. He's looking to fall on this one, leaves it for Kenji actually, and Stumpy playing it patient, not wanting to overcommit. Still looking to keep the pressure up as this one floats on through in a team pinch. Will get it out, but the Rooks more of a team-oriented performance, although Bubbly did say that Kenji can be one of the best Prospect League players at times, and at other times he can be slumping, so we'll have to see which Kenji we get. So far, he has been looking pretty good here in this first opening minute, or few minutes. And still, you know, Velocity, they had that one really good pass play speed between Beast Mode and C-Dubs, but that's the only shot they got to show for it so far. And Rooks, 2 shots of their own, but I feel like Rooks have the majority of the pressure here.
Yeah, Rooks have had a lot of the pressure. Haven't gotten too many shots, as you stated, but, you know, they're keeping the ball in the defensive half of Velocity, which, yes, they need to be getting more shots and getting things going a little stronger, but just having the threat of having the ball in their defensive half will end up honestly paying off for them in the long run. The longer that it's down there, you know, obviously it's going to just give them more of an opportunity to score. But Dunmill coming up by Stumpy as Kenji's going to try to little doomsy and unable to get that touch, and it's going to get cleared to the sidewall here by Dukes.
Yeah, definitely a wild card factor coming out right there, that's for sure.
That is the wild card factor with his internet being fixed. I know the last couple weeks of the season, he was playing on some really bad internet and his Wi-Fi wasn't quite working. He was playing on a hotspot, I believe. And here he is trying to slot that one in top corner, and his Wi-Fi is fixed, and now he is feeling himself, Bagels.
That was an excellent shot. Unfortunate for Velocity, the touch off the backboard didn't come out, but a great hit from Stumpy off that back wall. Straight into the hands of Kenji, and he placed that one perfectly. And again, like you said, it was only a matter of time before the Rooks finally put one through here, as they really did. They've been controlling this game ever since Velocity scored. Oh, it's one off, great off the kickoff. Oh my goodness, couldn't even find my words there for a second, but 2 shots came out so quickly. But then again, it's right back on the Velocity side as Kenneman trying to get that one through, but Stumpy's up, but quickly taken off the back wall. As Kenji looking to find Stumpy, finds it, hits it back to the middle, but nothing quite doing off of that opportunity yet. Kenji taking it slow, perhaps looking for a pass out. Kenneman a little bit in no man's land there, trying to make something out of nothing. As the final seconds roll down here, just might have overtime unless the Rooks can pull out one more final play. Although here's C-Dubs on 0 seconds, but he will not find the touch and speed. The 2 9-9 teams, the teams this close, couldn't ask for anything more than a game 1 overtime.
No, and I really didn't expect it not to be in overtime. I expected it to be a little more offensive showing here by both teams, a little more shots coming out from them, but you know, maybe trying to just get the jitters out of the way.
Boy.
Knowing the fact that your season could be on the line, as Velocity trying to squeak one in there, but the Rooks are going to hold on tight and keep themselves in this game 1 overtime so far. But, you know, you mentioned earlier, and you can see it if you take a look here at the scoreboard, Big C-Dubs showing up for this Velocity team with 441 points so far with the lone goal, a couple saves, and, you know, that's what the 3-time All-Star will do for you here, as Big C-Dubs named All-Star this season and the previous 2 seasons, and he's definitely proven why that is the case.
Point, the heart and soul of this Velocity team thus far is Kenji with the air dribble. Kenneman was looking for a bump, but the defender had already pre-jumped the play. Good opportunity here as Kenneman half rotates. He will find the shot, and it gets past the final defender, and Rooks take game 1.
And that right there is a beautiful play by Kenneman and Stumpy. Stumpy just getting it middle. Kenneman cutting, realizing his other teammate was all the way back, able to get up and beat that and just throws it on target. And honestly, any shot, I wouldn't say any shot on target's a good shot, but any shot that's on target that makes them do something, or, for that case, it's going to find the back of the net. And even if they made a save there, it would have been an awkward situation, as it looked like that Velocity was kind of struggling on the defensive end right there. And, Rook's able to pick that goal up and definitely, pick up on the mistake there by Velocity and give themselves that huge, crucial 1-0 series match lead. And, how is Velocity going to respond, Bagels, is the big question here.
Yeah, I think what they need to do is honestly just put up some more offense. We saw such a great passing play come out in the first minute and a half there, and then after that, nothing really was cultivating for them. I mean, they kind of got one ball that was loitering out in the box, but that was just due to Rooks not going for the ball right away. But yeah, I mean, they maybe find some more passing plays. There were a lot of demos coming out as well, so I don't know, Velocity, they just need to take more chances, because eventually that Rook's pressure got to him, and like you said, it was a mistake. And honestly, that's how the first goal got scored too. There was just a whiff off the backboard as a whiff off of the kickoff, but they can't find the follow-up. And we're just talking about how we want them to respond in speed. They got to be hitting those.
They really do that. Off the kickoff, and that's a wide open look that they have, and they can't seem to put it away. And after losing game one, that's a situation that, you really have to capitalize on that. And now, instead of being up early, feeling good, picking up that momentum here early in game two, they're going to have to fight tooth and nail now, as, we've already seen this Rooks offense and defense have a lot of the pressure and looking really good so far.
Yeah, almost a good play coming out of beast mode there. A solid soft pop, and was trying to find the follow-up, but it was defended pretty well. Although this one will roll in top left. He will turn back around and take another crack at it. And Velocity, this is, they missed the kickoff goal opportunity, but first minute here, they're looking solid.
Yeah, they're putting up pressure. They know they need to get this game number 2 and even this series up. And beast mode just that, but you also see there a mistake coming out by Kennymon, trying to get a touch off the back wall and a nice big booming clear, but unable to follow up with that second touch and actually get the clear. But it doesn't matter, because he's going to throw this one off the backboard, and Kenji's right there, and he's just going to tap this one in.
Yeah, and another backboard kind of mistake coming out for Velocity. This time, no player was on the backboard, but, you got to have at least the threat of somebody trying to make a touch and put it out to safety. But last defender there for Velocity, caught with his pants down. Really nothing a Prospect League player could do right there. Is, oh my goodness, Stumpy coming flying in from the side. Almost 50ing that one through. And Rooks will tie it up. And, Velocity, they put up 2 shots in 1 minute, but the Rooks have put up 4 shots in 30 seconds, so they're saying they can do one better. And I think, to your point there, Speed, earlier on, I think the nerves here of the do or die got to Velocity there in game 1, although it does look like they've ramped the pace up a little bit and the aggression, but still the defensive mistakes are coming out for them, so we'll have to see if they can be consistent here the rest of this game.
Yeah, the big thing with them I've noticed so far, Bagels, is, and you kind of touched on it before, but is their backboard defense, their backboard reads. They're making the right attempts, but they're just not making and finishing those plays that they're trying to accomplish, and they're looking really awkward anywhere on their back wall or like right in front of their goal. They can't seem to find or make plays happen, and I think that just might be a little bit of miscommunication going on, where they might be super hyper focused, where they're not quite calming as much as they should.
Yeah, definitely an awkward moment coming out a few seconds ago. Definitely just not on the same page, at least as that previous play was. Although going for the bump here is C-Dubs. The shot not powerful enough, or able to find the accuracy to capitalize off of that bump attempt. And Kennymon and Stumpy both up. Nobody finding a touch. He's going for the squishy, but he is getting bumped out of the play. This is going to leave the net open, but nobody for Velocity is home. Finally, Dukes comes in, and I was about to say too little too late, but nobody for Rooks was there either.
Yeah, you see there, Kennymon went for boost over ball, thinking his 2 teammates were there. His 2 teammates both trying, and Duke seemed like he had forever to make a choice on whether he wanted to push that or not. And thankfully he did, because he's gonna give his team the 1 goal lead here, as they're looking for another one, as Beast Mode trying to get the double in the dunk, but unable to quite get that finish there. And this game has seen some good plays, has seen some awkward plays, Bagels, but hopefully we just see a lot more good plays, and whatever team ends up winning, it's not because there was some awkward plays, it's because the other team just had better actual plays and was able to beat them.
Yeah, either way, I do like the aggression coming out from both teams here. Definitely a lot more shot attempts than the first game. But yeah, I mean, that was like, on second look, that was actually a pretty good shot from Dukes. He put it back post behind the final defender, even though it took him a while to get into the play. Good shot location from him. As now the Rooks down by 1. A back pass attempt coming out, but Kenemon too far back to receive it. This is going to go into the hands of Dukes. Flings it onto the backboard and quickly sent away. As C-Dub's back to the middle. This will just leave it to Stumpy. And thought double commit might have been coming out for Velocity, but C-Dubs takes control. Kenemon not able to find the read quick enough to put that one on target. Back to the middle here. And the ball is bouncing from corner to corner on this Velocity end. And they cannot get it out at the moment, but Dukes to the middle. Trying to find C-Dubs and almost finding the connection. Back to Dukes. It's Beast Mode. Slowing things down in the cup corner. But Stumpy will parry it out for now as Kenji collects the corner boost. Again, slowing it down. The Rooks players are just trying to maintain possession, keep control of this ball, but at this point they might just have to start banging it downfield, making Velocity try and make some mistakes of their own, because now they're coming back and they got 30 seconds left here, Speed, and this has been a lot better looking Velocity, and Rooks got to do something right now. Is another shot coming in.
Yeah, and Velocity's looking really scary, but the counterattack's going to fall just short, as Dukes is going to own that midfield, and he's going to 50 that one in and probably secure this Game 2 win right here for Velocity.
That was an all-in play right there, and I feel like if Kenemon maybe, it looked like he was trying to delay his flip, but he never used this flip or ended up losing it halfway through that single jump, and following Rook's player was right behind him, expecting a good 50 out of that, and that one just flew over both of them. And a great insurance goal for Velocity, and even packing another one on there. And this is the performance we wanted to see out of them after kind of a lackluster game 1, and series all tied up now.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see that the other teammates in Dukes and Beast Mode. I mean, I know Beast Mode has the potential to really pop off and carry this Velocity team, but to see Big C-Dub sitting at the bottom of the the scoreboard for this team is really surprising, and to see that they came away with such a lopsided scoreline here as well. So again, if they're doing that with Big C-Dubs, kind of not putting in what we would expect for him in work for this Velocity team, and able to handily take on this Rooks roster right here, if they can get all 3 of them rolling and firing on all cylinders, as they were able to put up 9 shots in that one compared to the Rooks 4, this series could get out of hand really quickly if Rooks can't bounce back after this Game 2 kind of lopsided scoreline here and really get something going for Game 3.
Yeah, I mean, C-Dubs, he may have been on the bottom. Did find an assist to his name right there, and 4 shots, so perhaps some pressure just coming out from the shots as well. But I think the big thing that worked out for Velocity there, even though they let up a goal because of it, was that backboard defense. After they came up with that first goal, the Rooks did, the defense was a lot tighter there for Velocity and not giving Rooks as many chances. And we saw that from the 4 shots. And even in the midfield, I mean, we saw Dukes just dunk it out on that third goal there. Just the midfield control was a lot better from Velocity, and that's what we wanted to see out of them, and we did get it. Although headed into Game 3, we'll have to see if the Rooks can find their wild card offense once again, or if the defense from Velocity will continue to be consistent, as C-Dubs blocks his own teammate's shot, and as not the consistency you want to be looking for right there.
Nah, that's really unfortunate. Great play all around. Big C-Dubs trying to start his rotation out and happens to just get right in the way of his teammate's shot. And there was no Rooks defender that was going to be saving that one. And, Big C-Dubs, you got to just clear your mind off of that one and continue to just do what you have been doing as a team here. And, they're looking pretty good so far. They've had a lot of the pressure early on in this game, number 3. And one thing that really is going to be a key factor in this one, and I noticed that happened a lot more in game number 2, is Dukes. Dukes is, and I think probably one of the best midfield pressure players in the league, as Stumpy is actually going to catch this one and slide it right in, as Duke's trying to make that quick turnaround here and doesn't quite see Stumpy sitting there for the catch, and he's just going to slide that one in.
Yeah, the trick of the camera got him right there. He was just looking all up at the ceiling, and even at the highest level, the simplest of things is to just tilt your camera down. You just all it takes is half a second, but that's a half a second a lot of players don't want to spend, as they want to try and make the read on the ball. And honestly, even at the Titan level, it is pretty hard to read the ball and flick your camera to see if there's an oncoming player. And luckily for Stumpy, Dukes only had his eyes on the play in front of him. And after a very controlling minute and a half of velocity, they're starting to end up on the back foot now. It's another opportunity for Rooks rolling out, but saved away for now by velocity and looking to get back on the attack. Double commit coming out though. C-Dubs, enough boost to get back to this, but Kenji will dunk him out. Beast mode, gonna take to the dribble, looking for the pass up to Dukes, but he was getting harassed by one of the Rooks players in the midfield. One more follow-up from Dukes, and oh my goodness, maybe that's karma from the one that C-Dubs ended up saving. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, and that's really unfortunate by Kenji. Kenji probably shouldn't have even attempted to go up for this, as he was beat 100%, and his teammate was coming in to try to make that save from the net and force that out to the corner. But if your velocity, you take it, you bounce back, you're back at a 1-1 game, so you just gotta forget that ever even happened, and still got 2.5 minutes left in this game to turn things around and get back on the right foot.
Yeah, definitely so. As Dukes, again with an early challenge, but did force him to give away possession. Stumpy off to the side in beast mode. Quick hit off the sideball, looking for the follow-up. Putting the Rooks defenders in an awkward spot as they're all in a line, clustered next to each other. Struggling for boost as well, as beast mode looking for one more opportunity. Ball ends up floating out to the midfield as Dukes. Like you said, Speed, he's definitely a midfield presence. Whether it's playing to the favor of Rooks or velocity is kind of unknown so far, but he is just tossing himself at the ball. And even if he misses it, it is making the Rooks defenders give away possession. So the aggressiveness, a little erratic, but I think it might be working out for him.
More times than not, it has worked out for them so far, and he just, I don't know. I don't think I've seen a player, most of the time his midfield pressure is really on point, and it works for him. And I don't think I've seen a player that's controlled the midfield as well as he has in this prospect league. So if he can keep doing that, that I definitely feel like that adds in the advantage towards velocity. But Rooks are on the attack here as we're approaching that 1 minute mark, Bagels, and we're still tied game here, and we're pretty even on this on the shot department as well. 3 from Rooks, 4 from velocity, and still not quite the offensive pressure that I would like to see from both of these teams and how they've been playing to end the season.
I was just about to mention that as C-Dubs took a quick pop and then opted to just leave the ball. I was going to mention that because after kind of a hot and heavy game 2, we're back into the passiveness of the passive performance we got there in game 1. And last time that happened, it was a 1-1 scoreline, and Rooks ended up winning that one in the overtime later on. So see if history repeats itself as final 30 seconds. Oh my goodness, not another own goal. Oh no. Oh my.
Wow, and that's now a second own goal here for the Rooks this game, and that's just really unfortunate for them. They have to find a way to communicate better and get more solid touches towards their offensive net, not their defensive net, their offensive net. And now that only leaves them with 20 seconds to try to make something happen here and not avoid going on match point.
Oh my goodness, this Dukes balls out the final defender, but Kenji able to get back because Dukes does not have enough boost, and final seconds going Velocity's way unless Rooks have something to say about it, but Beast Mode gonna just try and get the Doomsy. 3 players up here. Dukes needs to put this one down, and he will. But oh my goodness, wasn't able to mention it because it happened so fast, but there was going to be surely a goal coming out for Rooks there in the final seconds, but one of the Velocity players tossed himself at the jumping offender there and took away the shot opportunity, saving his team and saving from the Rooks tying this game up there. And even though that was a very passive performance there, Speed, this has definitely been a really good improvement from game 1 here from Velocity. And really the only goal was just coming off of that Dukes play where he just didn't know that there was a player coming onto the ball right there. And low offense on both sides, but Velocity, I feel like they don't have control of the field, but they have control of the game. It's kind of weird. I don't know. I feel like they're in control of the game, even though that Rooks are running the show.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to see, how this series is playing out. Like you said, both the Velocity goals there were, mistakes by the Rooks, and the one goal by Rooks was, a simple mistake that you do see in these lower skilled leagues, where just couldn't quite see that there was a player sitting there waiting to make the catch and let that one go in. So I believe both of the goals by Velocity, they weren't even registered as shots on those
No,
those balls that went in. One was quite wide enough where I don't think it was definitely registered, and obviously the one that was redirected in off of the sidewall. So that could have gone the other way as well, and but that's always a good sign of good teams, is finding a way to win even when you may not exactly be playing your best game.
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, that was just an unfortunate way to lose that game 3 here, as now Rooks on their final life, not only of this series, but of this season, and another mistake will come out, and oh my goodness, they left it. Beast Mode left it for Dukes, and Dukes was not ready for the leave, and an open net opportunity got awry still. Infield pass play coming out, and that is now 2 opportunities in the first few seconds, Speed, that Velocity has not capitalized on. And again, if they want to have no hopes of the Rooks coming back here, I mean, they gotta hit those.
I believe the first one was the very opening 2 seconds of the kickoff in game number 2. This one a little longer in, but same mistake, no communication, and that right there. Yes, they are up in the series 2-1. And they have looked pretty good, but that just shows that they're still not playing to their full potential. And that's something when Velocity's on, their communications on. That's in every time. So Rooks really, if they want to come away and they want to have their season still go, and they want to fight for that number 8 seed on Saturday, they have to start picking apart this Velocity team while they're not playing their best. They have to find a way to just make something happen, force a game 5, but Big C-Dubs isn't going to let that one happen. He's going to say, no, I'm going to put this one in, and that's what he does right there.
It was just a very calculated double tap there from Dukes to put that off of the post, and then, C-Dubs just comes flying in. You had the pre-flip into the read, too, and he will find it, and, Rooks have their cards against them here, although low roller on the net will be sent away, as Velocity has had almost no offense in this series. They did get 9 shots in one of the games, but an average of 3-4 shots on game 1 and game 3, but they have come out with 6 shots here in the first 2 minutes, and it's definitely an offense that has been woken up here in Rooks. They got a lot of work to do right now, especially after losing game 3 such an unfortunate fashion with the 2 own goals, and another laser beam from C-Dubs, and he will land on it. But again, not find the accuracy. But still, if they could just keep up this momentum, Speed, surely Velocity has this one in the bag.
Yeah, they're starting to actually come around and look pretty good, but no, Stumpy is going to get the long clear here, and I don't quite know where they were. Where was the last defender there for Velocity? I don't know if they were both trying to rotate middle there, thinking that they were going to keep pressure or not, but that one's gonna find its way in for Rooks. And again, we're at this midway point at a 1-1 game. We've seen this before. I'm wondering if it's gonna stay 1-1 down to the wire like the last couple of games have been, Bagels, or if a team's gonna find a way to really turn on the heat in the last 2 minutes here.
Dukes was trying to turn it on right there, but ended up hitting the backboard, although another shot and forcing the double commit. Pressure still on. Dukes is up early, finding the 50. But he's sent away from Stumpy. Gets a quick pop, but Beast Mode there to cut it off. And an unfortunate touch will leave it right back to the middle for C-Dubs. Follow up there for Dukes, perhaps thinking the final defender was going to be jumping, trying to put it underneath him, but Stalwart on the goal line, or perhaps just didn't know what was going to happen. He just stood there and waited for the ball to come to him, but still, the pressure is on here, Speed, and they are at 10 shots. Velocity offense is definitely rolling. The tie game, nonetheless. We'll have to find one more to break through. It's Kenemon into the corner. Just the Rooks are completely locked down, having to avoid bumps left and right. Dukes, another follow-up opportunity. With a slow pop to himself. Beast Mode trying to find it. Back to the middle, but D-Dub's too far back. Waiting. Finding the 50 off to the side, and Dukes, again, it's Beast Mode now. Maybe looking for a little bit more accuracy and power on that, but gave you the opportunity away early, and again, Dukes, opportunity that I feel like he should be hitting. He's 0 for 7 in this game, Speed. 7 shots to Duke's name, and I feel like he could have put it in 2 of them.
Yeah, Dukes is struggling a little bit in the shot department. You can see him. I think he's just thinking too much. He just needs to put good, hard, solid shots on net, and he's just thinking too much, trying to get too cute, too fancy, and try to predict what the Rooks defense is going to be doing. I think he just needs to really just focus on just getting as much power as he can on target, and I think he'll start seeing some better results. But we're down to the final 30 seconds here, and I'm still seeing a lot of miscommunication coming out from the Rooks here as a couple plays have gone awry. But that passing play looked like they were on point there, Bagels, as the final 10 seconds is winding down here.
Yeah, and that's time the accuracy plaguing the Rooks, and one more opportunity going, perhaps Velocity's way, but Stumpy, looking to take this to overtime, and we will have the second overtime of the series here. The kickoff going in favor of Velocity. T-Dubs with the air dribble, looking for one more touch, finds the dunk, and a double commit will leave the net open. Kenji having to race back, cutting off Dukes, who not get a registered 8 shot there, but still a lot of space being given as Rooks had a lot of time, but gave the ball away early. Perhaps the fear starting to mount that this is their season. If they lose this overtime, they are out. This Beast Mode getting past 2, but straight into the hands of Kenji. Will barely get it past a flying Dukes. Ball sent away. Kenemon, a light pop down, but this gives Stumpy a good opportunity on the dribble. Looking for a flick. Kenemon was looking for the bump, but the bump attempt came out too late, and the flick off target. Rooks could have sealed the deal right there, but now they will have to go back and find another successful opportunity off of another drive, but Stumpy expecting C-Dubs to find contact in the air. And Rooks have had control of this overtime thus far, Speed, and I don't know, Velocity, miscommunication might be starting to get to them.
Yeah, and as that one is going to slip in for Kenji as he puts that one on with a little bit of pace on target, and good things happen. Maybe Dukes needs to take a little bit of notes, as, that's what I was wanting from him to do. But Kenji's going to get this one. He's going to tie up the series 2-2. He's going to force Game 5, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that are kind of rooting for this Rooks roster, and Velocity. They looked so good for the whole game up until overtime. They fell apart a little bit, and still managed to keep it a close game. And they have to find a way when you're out shooting opponents. What is that? Quick math: 14-6. You gotta find one more than one in the back of the net. That should have been over in regulation. They should have had a couple goal lead there, and unfortunately, just didn't quite go their way. And now they are stuck in the dreaded Game 5 with the season on the line.
The two close teams we were talking about coming to this couldn't get any closer. 2 overtimes in the series, headed to the ultimate decider there in Game 5 coming up. And I mean, yeah, this was the offense we wanted to see from Velocity too. I mean, like you said, 14 shots. This is what we wanted, and they could not find the accuracy there. And again, an early opportunity in the game, the double commit miscommunication come out, both players backflipping with the open net, and Duke's two, at least that I can recall, 2 solid opportunities that should have definitely been put in the back of the net. But again, hard shots, but definitely opportunities that he could have put away there. And I don't know, just Velocity one too many times. They bit off more than they could chew on the overcommit, and C-Dub's taken a little too much time in the corner on that final play, and that allowed that goal to slip in as Dukes just couldn't reach it there in time. As we're having a bit of an issue here with one of the players in the lobby who is not allowed to be in the lobby and is not leaving the lobby, so we will try and get this Game 5 underway as soon as possible here. But I know you said you had Velocity going into this matchup here, Speed. Is that still holding true here?
I think it is holding true still, especially with how they performed in that last game. They had all the pressure. They had a lot of shots, a lot of great looks. Just weren't able to quite capitalize on every single one of them. I wouldn't even say every single one of them because that's hard to do. But like I said, 14 shots and only 1 goal. They need to capitalize. You'd like to see 35% shooting percentage coming out. So I think if they can play like that, they'll figure out a way to find the back of the net this time, and have closer to that 35% shooting percentage, and we'll see a different outcome in scoreline here as Big C-Dub's trying to put one in early there, and that's a great look, and it took all 3 Rooks defenders there to stuff that one off of the goal line.
It's quickly on the counterattack, almost converting, but now a counterattack the opposite way. Oh my goodness, it just might go in, and Dukes will secure it off of a crazy touch from C-Dubs. 2 Velocity players up, but C-Dubs found the touch they needed.
That's a great heads-up play right there by Big C-Dubs, putting it on target, dropping it in. I wish that would have gone in because that would have been a beautiful shot and a beautiful goal. But he ends up getting the assist, and he's giving his team the 1-0 lead. And, that's what you expect out of a 3-time All-Star and, someone who's been well-known in the league to be able to make things happen. And I feel like Big C-Dubs is always such a difference maker. And anytime he's on the field, you have to look out for him because he can just go pop off at a moment's notice and really change the outcome of a game within a couple seconds.
I was going to say, I feel like the player that needs to step up here in this Game 5 is C-Dubs, and also Dukes after the 0 for 7 shooting there in Game 4. And, pretty easy to find the net when C-Dubs sets you up like that. And that is the momentum and the confidence boost they needed after a rough performance there in Game 4. The Rooks looking to get an opportunity. The bump actually coming out, but Stumpy not enough boost to find the accuracy on that play, but still Kenji half-turning with the pre-flip. Putting it on target, but C-Dubs off to the side for now. So a double commit outcoming Stumpy. He just needs to find the accuracy, and an excellent shot from him from the corner will go bar down off of another double commit.
Yeah, another double commit, and Stumpy, yet again, getting the nice little lob shot off the crossbar down and in. We saw one earlier in this series coming out from him. It was a little further back, more towards midfield, the first one, but again, he's just putting it on target, knowing that all he has to do is put it on target. He already has the defenders beat, and that's what he's doing. So he's doing his job pretty well with those shots, and he's able to capitalize on that, and that's exactly what you need to come out from, both sides on this team. Is whoever's going to capitalize on the other team's little mistakes, and Big C-Dub says, I'm going to beast mode this one in, and, he's going to put that one away and give themselves back the lead and make Rooks fight even harder for this.
Yeah, and Stumpy, granted, that was an excellent play from Beast Mode. He went past the ball and didn't go for the challenge and bumped Stumpy in net, but Stumpy, I still feel like he could have gotten back to that to make the save. But either way, C-Dubs will put that one through his, oh my gosh, Duke's pushing it off his own post, almost own goaling. So he's quickly back on it, off the back. We're looking for the double tap, finds the read. Not the accuracy though. The C-Dubs back to the middle for beast mode. And Dukes, he has no boost. This could leave Kenji with a good opportunity, who did get the mid boost, looking for the double tap. Unable to get it, but a quick opportunity out to Stumpy, and this one right into the hands of Dukes. We'll put that one on target, but Kenji back in time. Now into the corner. Kenemon not able to find this touch. Although the Velocity offender not able to either. Who will get first to this one is C-Dubs looking to go under. The 50 will go in favor of the Rooks. Now a scuffle in the midfield. We'll leave it to the Velocity player as another double tap. They're trying so hard with the mechanic speed to find one more insurance goal. And again, we're seeing the offense come alive like we did in Game 4, but the accuracy proving to be an issue again. Granted, 2 for 6 isn't bad, but another opportunity where in this important Game 5, you want to be hitting those.
Yeah, you really do want to be hitting those. And, you know, they're not the only ones. We did see that shot earlier come out from the Rooks where the bump came out from one of the players, and they had a pretty wide open look off of a moderately hard aerial, and they weren't able to find the touch either. So, again, this game is going to boil down to in the last minute and a half on who can really capitalize and make the most out of their touches and just make the smart, correct plays. And if you can do that, you know, and pick apart the other teams, the mistakes that they've been making, you should come away with the win here, and it's still anyone's game.
Stumpy looking for another excellent shot from the corner. Not able to find it. Kenji, good opportunity, but pops it too high off to the left, and defender on the backboard likely had that angle covered either way. One more opportunity to Stumpy. He's looking to go top right. Two off the side anyway. As Kenji dealing the corner boost, getting a bump to boot. Is now Kenemon racing in, forcing beast mode to hit it to the corner. Kenemon looking for some bumps. Stumpy off to the middle. Kenji playing patient in the back. Good decision from him. Not wanting to overcommit in the final 30 seconds, but he's got to make a play. So he does get 50 to his back corner. Final 30 seconds. The Rooks are starting to look a little bit more uncoordinated. The pressure's starting to get to them, and another goal will go in for Velocity.
And that's just an awkward read there by Stumpy. Stumpy trying to make a pass middle, doesn't feel like he quite had it. You know, his teammate was expecting the pass, no one touched it, and then he just, you know, he had to just try to get rid of it as I was just getting 50'd, and he ended up just putting it right in the middle of the field. And you know, Velocity again able to capitalize on the mistakes by the Rooks, and you know, ultimately with 20 seconds left, that's probably gonna earn them the win in this game 5 series, even though they didn't, you know, for the whole series play to their full potential, and you know, they definitely didn't have a clean series themselves.
They need one right here, right now, but the two players bumping into each other. 50 to the midfield, clock rolling down, and with 0 seconds on the clock, that will be it. The Rooks have been eliminated, and Velocity will move on to play Saturday, surviving a close series with the Rooks, but the offense really coming alive there the past 2 games, and Velocity will be playing Saturday against... Who will they be playing against, Speed?
They'll be playing against Hypernova. Yep, they'll be playing against Hypernova, who just came off of a tough Game 5 loss themselves against the Minotaurs. That was also an insane series. So, you know, this Velocity Hypernova matchup should be really, really exciting, as well as, you know, both of them just went to Game 5. I really hope that Velocity is able to come out, you know, strong and 100% to start the series. Kind of unlike they did tonight. They really struggled in that Game 1, and Game 2 wasn't a bad showing by them either, but they have to start capitalizing on their shots like we talked about. Again, this game, they put up 8 shots. They put in 3 goals, close to that 35% shooting we want to see, but they can't have those 1 for 14 performances against Hypernova, because Hypernova will end up putting in those goals, and they're going to need to get as many of those shots to convert as possible.
Yeah, and the 2 players I was looking out for there in that important Game 5 were Dukes and C-Dubs. And Dukes went 2 for 2 on the shooting. C-Dubs, I think he went 1 for 5, but he did have an assist. That crazy aerial redirect that did allow Dukes to easily put that one in, clustered on the goal line. But I mean, that was a pretty good series there. Definitely was some back and forth, and Rooks pushing the limits of that Velocity team. And, you know, if you liked what you saw out of C-Dubs and the rest of the boys, like I said, they will be having another showing there on Saturday against Hypernova. But that is going to do it for us for tonight here, Speed. Any final thoughts from you?
All we've only been through 2 nights of this postseason so far, Bagels, and we've already seen, I think, like 75% of these matches go into game 5s.
Yeah.
And if that is just what we're gonna get in the first 2 games, first 2 matches, through these playoff bracket, the play-in bracket, I can't wait for the playoff bracket to be set and start getting into those best of 7s, because we're gonna have a long postseason here, and it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be exhilarating. And you know, when you're getting those games that are going the full distance, it's anyone's series, which just makes it that much more exciting.
Yeah, I definitely, like I always say, at the end of every season, it just seems like the games get closer and closer. The teams get better and better with their performances and the competitiveness of the season. Tribute to the managers and their MMR boundaries and everything they're doing to try and make the league as good as possible. But we got one more match one more game day rather on Saturday, and then we will have that 1 week break. So we'll have to wait and see how many more game 5s we will get in the actual playoffs. But one more day of play-ins, and that will be this Saturday in a few days. And we will catch you guys then for some more play-in eliminator matches. Have a good one, guys.
Cause I play to win. You know I make you feel good. And don't you wanna feel good, good, good? Sometimes I wish that we could go back before you got hurt, hurt, hurt. When before I was scared, now I'm feeling prepared. Don't you wanna feel good? Don't you wanna feel good, good, good?
When you say you were leaving, I thought that you meant it. I played the victim, you start as indifferent. Hindsight comes standard with rose-colored lenses.